So Siddharth Prabhu, you can just name which song we will be doing, and that song will be projected by Sami Prabhu for the lyrics. And after you're done with the kirtan, we'll also be reading the English translation of the kirtan one by one. So thank you very much for willing to do this very nice service, Prabhu. So whenever you're ready, you can just coordinate with Sami Prabhu about screen sharing and also displaying the lyrics, and then you can.
Yes, Prabhu. Sami Prabhu, I'll be singing Damodar Ashtakam.
Yes, Prabhu.
Do a nice one, Prabhu.
Thank you, Lagam Prabhu. Mercy of Krishna.
Excited to hear Prabhu's transcendental voice.
Prabhu, I've already had this thing once. It's only Kirtan I know.
Yes, Prabhu. Happy to hear.
Anyway, yes. Prabhupada ki jai. Are they beginning now? Hare Krishna.
Just confirm if your kartal is also getting heard in the Zoom. If I'm not sure if you're able to hear your kartal. Are you
Yes.
playing your kartal?
Sami Prabhu, are you able to hear it?
No, cannot.
No?
So now there is a slight issue with the Zoom. I told you before, right, to confirm. All right, no problem. Anyway, Sami Prabhu, how to make the noise of the kartal or the instrument also be heard? You know the settings, right? Can you just guide that to Siddharth Prabhu? He will guide you. Siddharth Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay.
Just give us step-by-step instruction on what.
Yes, Prabhu. Go to the microphone. There's a arrow pointing down. Hover your mouse over it, and then you have audio settings there. Did you find it? Prabhu, we don't hear you if you're speaking.
So it'll be nice if devotees can switch on the cameras. It'll be more personal. Very good.
Yes. Sorry, Prabhu. So there was power cut in my place, so
Yes, Prabhu.
I'll have to. I hope I'm visible. I don't think I'll be visible.
You're not visible, but it's okay, no problem. Power cut, what to do?
Yes. What timing? Okay. So is the kartal audible?
No, not audible.
Not yet.
Sami Prabhu, you can just give a slow instruction, Prabhu, on what to do. Like
Yes,
step by step.
Go to
Not quickly.
audio settings, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. You can walk me through what I have to do.
Go to the audio settings and put them like this.
Okay. Settings, audio. Just like okay. This is in Zoom itself, right?
Yes.
Or are we talking about device?
Zoom, Prabhu. Zoom, then on the microphone.
Yeah. Audio settings.
Yeah, audio settings. And then put them like that.
Right. Yes. What do you want me to do in this? Let me just share the screen. All right. So I'm here, Prabhu.
Oh, we can see it, Prabhu. It's not showing.
Okay.
So
Yeah, outdated, probably obsolete version.
yes, Prabhu. It's not like showing to us when you share the screen. Only you can see it. So did you put them like this in the picture? I sent in the Shloka learning group, like picture.
Let's let me see. Yeah. All right. This I can anyways do it on phone. I'll do the Kirtan on phone itself. It'll be
Okay,
better.
yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that's better.
Just a second. Be back.
Hey, boy.
Karti Prabhu, where did you learn the technique? Karti Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
I was saying, where did you learn the technique? I can see the way you chant, the way you hold your beat. It's actually different.
You mean I hold like this?
It's like you, yeah, yeah.
Speculation. You don't follow me.
Maharaj ki jai.
Oh no, please don't insult me, Prabhu. Jordan Prabhu
Maharaj
has
ki
joined.
jai.
Hare Krishna, Jordan Prabhu. Pranam, pranam. Thank you for
Sorry for
joining.
the
Pranam.
erratic happenings, Prabhu, from my end. Power cut, everything is going astray. So anyway, I'll start the Kirtan if you are all ready.
Yes, Prabhu. No problem. This is Kali Yuga.
Yes, Prabhu. Please start, Prabhu. Very well. Yes.
Thank you. All right, Samir, you can present the lyrics for others to join in if they like to.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. All right. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Damodar Ashtakam. That's audible, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, so perfectly audible.
Hare Krishna. Namamishwaram Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Bhagamanam Namamishwaram Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Bhagamanam Yashodhabiyodokhaladavamanam Paramrishtamatyantato Dritagopya Yashodhabiyodokhaladavamanam Paramrishtamatyantato Dritagopya Rudantam muhurnestram yuknam mrijantam Karambhojayugmena Satakanetram Rudantam muhurnetra yugnam mrijantam Karambhojayugmena Satakanetram Mohoshvasakampa Trirekakakantha Titagreva Damodaram Bhaktibhaktam Mohoshvasakampa Trirekakakantha Titagreva Damodaram Bhaktibhaktam Iti Driksalilabhiranandakunde Swaghosam Nimajjantam Akyapayantam Iti Driksalilabhiranandakunde Swaghosam Nimajjantam Akyapayantam Tadityeshu Dyeshu Bhaktirajitatam Puna Prematastam Shatavriti Vande Tadityeshu Dyeshu Bhaktirajitatam Puna Prematastam Shatavriti Vande Varam Deva Moksham Na Moksham Vadimba Na Chanyam Sada Me Manasya Virasati Manye Idam Teva Purnatha Gopala Balam Sada Me Manasya Virasam Manye Idam Te Mukham Bhojam Atyanta Nile Vritam Kuntalai Snigdha Raktaisya Gopya Idam Te Mukham Bhojam Atyanta Nile Vritam Kuntalai Snigdha Raktaisya Gopya Moho Shumbita Bimba Raktadharam Me Manasya Virasa Malam Lakshim Labhe Moho Shumbita Bimba Raktadharam Me Manasya Virasa Malam Lakshim Labhe नमो देव दामोदरानन्त विष्णो प्रसीद प्रभो दुःख जलाभिमग्नम् नमो देव दामोदरानन्त विष्णो प्रसीद प्रभो दुःख जलाभिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदिनं बतानु ग्रहणेश मामग्यमध्यक्षदृष्ट्यः कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदिनं बतानु ग्रहणेश मामग्यमध्यक्षदृष्ट्यः कुबेरात्मजौ भक्तमुतेव यद्वत् त्वया मोचित भक्ति भजौ कृतौ च कुबेरात्मजौ भक्तमुतेव यद्वत् त्वया मोचित भक्ति भजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकमे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकमे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह नमस्ते सुधाम्ने सुरदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयधरो याच्छ विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमस्ते सुधाम्ने सुरदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयधरो याच्छ विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपम् लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् यशोधाभियोगखलादवमानम् परामृष्टमत्यन्ततो धृतगोप्या हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री प्रभुपाद
Jai. Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Haribol, Haribol.
Jai, very, very nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much for performing. Very happy to hear, Prabhu. Very well.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Nice kartal playing too. So now the next session will be reading the Kirtan's English part. So Sami Prabhu, you can start the first round. Very well.
Haribol. Hare Krishna Gora Shakti Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for joining, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Prabhu. Yes.
Anup
Please
Ram
accept
Prabhu,
my
thank you for
overwish
joining. Jai Shri
Prabhu.
Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Very well.
Haribol, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
To the Supreme
Hare
Lord,
Krishna
whose
God.
form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who I do to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wood and grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodar I offer my humble obeisances.
Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with three lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with ropes but with mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances.
By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula and the pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbues with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to the Lord Damodara hundreds and hundreds of times.
O Lord, although you are able to give up all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bal Gopal in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use of me of any other boon besides this?
O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me.
O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes.
O Lord Damodara, just as the two sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvara were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with a rope to a wood grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation.
O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes.
Shri Damodarastakam ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Haribol, once again, very nice Kirtan. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So now the next event will be the sloka recitation. We have not had anyone to present, but we'll have the sloka recitation, and His Grace Gaurav Shakti Prabhu is here. So Prabhu,
I think
Hare
Prabhu
Krishna. Can
Haribol.
I have
on the
just 2 minutes, please? Just two
yes,
minutes.
no problem.
I'm driving till
Hare
and
Krishna.
yes, just 2 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, no
Krishna
problem.
Prabhu is
Hare Krishna.
saluted on. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhu. Please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. Haribol.
Prabhu.
Oh, Haribol.
So now we are having our sloka recitation, Jai Prabhu. So all those devotees who have memorized certain slokas, they will be asked to recite by Gaura Shakti Prabhu in a few minutes, and then you can just observe how the event goes on. After this, we'll have our sadhana chat where we track the devotees' sadhana performances, and then the presentation will be given by one of our devotees on any philosophical subject. Of course, we know the philosophical subject this time, but it's a surprise for all those who are present here, and that will be presented by Siddharth Prabhu. He has been preparing the presentation for quite some time now. And then we'll have a Q&A by His Grace Prahlad Bhakta Prabhu, who's the temple president in ISKM Pondicherry. And he will be there to answer all the questions, queries, etc., which one might have, etc. I'm just giving a rough overview of the event.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances, O Gauri Srila Prabhupada. Please forgive me. I was driving. It's not easy. And yes, it is quite a while now because, as you know, we got Renan Island got hit by a big cyclone, and everything got upside down. Got devastated somehow. So now it's better, but now I'm heading to Harinam Sankirtan because this should never stop. So thank you for all for reciting the shloka today, for preparing some shloka. Thank you for your endeavors. Thank you for your determination to always keep that session alive. And yeah, I'm really grateful to all of you. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Prabhupada. So please let me know who will recite shloka today, please, because it's quite a while now, and so you can type on the chat to let me know, or perhaps you can raise your hand.
There was one Luvesh Prabhu who said to chant 20 slokas, but he's not.
Yeah, I remember that.
But he himself is not here, unfortunately.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's okay. But perhaps he will join later. So, Sami Prabhu, you can recite first if you want.
Oh.
Better to be first sometime.
Yes, Prabhu. This is new. So which one I had? I have it's 269.
You're the yeah. This is the last.
Oh, is it last from the second?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, Haribol. I'm ready. Yanisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisa pasyato mune. Is it pasyato mune?
Yes.
So what is night for all living beings is time of awakening for the self-realized, and what is night for the self-realized is no. What is time of awakening for the self-realized is no. It's not like that. Okay, again. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for the for all beings is night for the introspective sage.
Yes, very good.
Okay. Yes, the translation.
I was about to say this is not self-realized, this is self-controlled, but it's okay.
Oh yes, Prabhu, self-control. Did I Did I like correct it?
Yeah, you said 2 times. Yeah, say Freelance, and then when you correct it, you said the right translation
Yes,
after
Prabhu.
that.
Yes, I learned it better, Prabhu.
Yeah, you came back. Yeah, very nice, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. So next one, who wants to recite next? Please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Damda Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, dear Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances, O Gauri Shri Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhu.
Please
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
let me know the number
Prabhu, I'm going to
of the
recite.
shloka you want to recite.
Yes, Prabhu. 2.64, Prabhu.
Okay.
रागद्वेष विमुक्तेस्तु विषयान् इन्द्रियश्चारन् आत्मवशैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादम् अधिगच्छति. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Translation is one who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord and complete mercy of the Lord and thus he become free from all attachments and all aversions.
Yes, right, correct. Very good, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Very nice recitation. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, next one, who wants to recite? Unmute yourself.
Maybe Lebohang the scientist.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can I recite?
Yes, of course.
Yes, Prabhu. I haven't recited any shloka. So I will start with the very first one. So it will. I will start.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. The very first one, 1.1.
Oh, it's Abhay Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances, O Gauri Shri Prabhupada. I was searching for the name. Please forgive me.
Yes. Can I start?
Yes, when you're ready, you can proceed.
Yes, Prabhu. धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुवत्सः मम का पाण्डवाश्चैव किम् अकुर्वत Sanjay. Dhritarashtra said, "O Sanjay, after assembling in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, what did my sons and sons of Pandu do, being desirous to fight?"
Yes, correct. Very nice. So, thank you very much for your kind recitation, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes.
So, for the next one, you will next week you will recite the. I think this is the 2.7, right? In the
next one. Yes, 2.7. 2.7.
Yes. So, just make sure that this is an instruction of His Grace, Prahlad Prabhu. Make sure that you can recite with the tune, just like
yes.
Dhritarashtra Uvacham Dharma Chitre Kurukshetre Samavetta Yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Just add the tune, then it's more beautiful, and even for yourself, sounds more nice. So this is just an instruction of His Grace, Prahlad Prabhu. Just said that we must chant it with a tune, and even if we chant slowly, every word, it's very nice to hear, So thank you very much, dear Prabhu, for your recitation, and I'm very happy to see you recite for the first time. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. I was about to ask Prabhu that how to tune the shloka. So it was my first time.
Oh yes. So
yes.
Oh, no problem. You can ask, and there is also quite a long video, but I can share with you. It's great Istagoshti Prabhu video about the how to choose the tune according to the shloka. So it's very instructive, very instructive video. So I recommend you to watch it, perhaps in many times because it's 2 hours plus video. But yeah, it's very instructive, and then you know how to choose the tune according to the shloka. Because in Shima Bhagavatam, for example, it's not the same tune. Sometimes it changes, you know. So he explained very well. His Grace David Prabhu explained very well how to choose the tune according to the shloka. So I can perhaps even Sami Prabhu, because I'm in my car, but he can share with you the
Yes, Prabhu.
you know the link of the video. It's very nice video, and actually it's a series of video, but you just watch that part, and it's okay because if you have more time to watch all the parts, then you can proceed. But just watch that part. It's okay. You can learn how to choose the tune. It's more important. Okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. And please forgive me for offenses. As I was not able to recite, I have seen the second line of the shloka, by the seeing in the PDF. Please forgive me.
Yeah. So no problem. Just I'm very happy to hear that you recite some shloka today, and this show that you are more enthusiastic now, and this is really good. I am really happy to hear that today, So I encourage you to go to that lecture and to learn, how to choose the tune and even the tune, because His Grace Saved Prabhu transcendental voice, very beautiful voice. So he can inspire you to, chant better your shloka, and you will feel more enthusiastic to learn the shloka when you can choose the right tune. It is very encouraging to chant with the tune. It is very nice to hear, and even someone who wants to, that we want to preach and hear us chant nicely, is also inspired, because he say, oh, this person he chant very well, what is this language, they are very curious, and yeah, their perception change a bit, when you preach like this. So yeah, this is the basic. So thank you very much, dear Prabhu, for your recitation today. Very inspiring. Keep going.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. I will improve, Prabhu.
If you have,
Definitely, I will improve.
yeah, no problem. Take your time. And if you have some question, please DM me, text me. I'm always very eager to talk with devotee, as everyone know in that, session now. So please feel free to ask me. This is my duty. So no problem. You can ask me some question. If I can reply to you, I will. If I can't, I will, perhaps share with you a link of a video or something that can inspire you. So yes, thank you. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhu. Please forgive me for offenses.
Oh no problem. Vansha kalpatarubhyacha kripasinubheva
Sakal
cha
Patrubhashi,
pavanam
Pasindra,
bhavani
Vaishnavi.
Keep going. Next week, I'm very eager to hear you, recite the 2-7 shloka.
Yes, Prabhu.
Very
I will
good to hear.
definitely improve and with the tune. Yes, 2.7.
Oh, Haribol, Haribol. Jai
Haribol.
Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri.
So for the next one, who wants to recite Devam Prabhu? Are you here? The scientist?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm here, Prabhu.
What is
Can you hear me?
Lebhang Dhoni.
Semi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, dear Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. Lord Krishna Prabhupada.
Signs of slow recitation.
Haribo.
So you, so you become a scientist, huh? Oh, very nice.
Yeah, no problem. Not a scientist. Prabhu. Scientist are reading session.
Are you like the frog one, you know, like in the well?
Sorry, Prabhu.
Oh, Prabhu.
You know, I don't know Sami Prabhu. You have to share the verse with him.
Oh, yes, Prabhu.
Share it on the chat.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
yes.
Prabhu. So, tell me the number of shloka you want to recite, dear Prabhu.
2.23. Usually, Prabhu, I want to
23
light
or-
the camera.
So sorry to
Your
interrupt,
voice
Prabhu.
is breaking.
But Gaurav Shakti Prabhu, just note just one thing. Because Siddharth Prabhu
Yes.
has a power cut, so he has to be able to present in about 10 minutes. So because
Yes,
his
Prabhu.
battery does not have charge and he cannot charge his battery due to the power cut. So just kind of, you know, if you can finish this session quickly, and then Sami Prabhu can also somehow clutch and finish the uh, what's that sadhana chart quickly, then we can pass over to Siddharth Prabhu because his battery cannot be charged and he only has like 30 minutes of battery left due to India's
Oh,
power
okay,
cut
Prabhu.
situation.
Please forgive me. Yes.
No,
Yes.
Prabhu, please, no.
Try to
I'm
be
so
quick.
sorry. I have to ask. I have to apologize to you due to this. I'm so sorry for this, but unfortunately, this is a situation, Prabhu. So kindly, please, yes, Prabhu. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Prabhu. No problem. Okay. Thank you. Jai Shri Prabhupada. So, Lebong Prabhu, please proceed to the shloka recitation. Thank you.
Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes,
Or can I recite?
please. Yes, yes.
I wanted to switch my camera on, but then it seems like it's struggling with network, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh no. Yes, just do like that. It's okay. We just need to
Okay,
hear you. It's okay.
2.23. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, na sosyati marutaha.
Livo.
Okay, the English now. The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapons, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind.
Yes, Haribo. Thank you, Prabhu. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Very nice to hear you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Haribo. So for the next one, who wants to recite, please? We're rushing a little.
I can
Oh,
recite
Shikam
2.69,
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
please accept my humble
Please
obeisances.
accept
Oh,
my
Gauri
humble
Shri
obeisances,
Prabhupada.
Prabhu.
So your the number shloka is
2.69, Prabhu.
69. Yeah, just like Sami Prabhu. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
When you're ready, you can proceed, Prabhu.
Sarvabhutanam. Yes, Prabhu. Yanisha Sarvabhutanam. Tasyam Jagrati Samyami. Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani. Sanisha Pashyato Muni. What is the night for all beings? Is the time of awakening for the self-control. What is the time? What is What is the time of awakening for the time of awakening for the living beings is the night for the introspective stage. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, correct. Very nice. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Very
Yes,
nice to
Prabhu.
hear
Thank you
from
for
you,
that,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Very nice, Prabhu.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Next one.
Karti Prabhu.
I think Sami Prabhu, he wants to unnecessarily put me into fire. I'm so sorry, Prabhu. I haven't learned actually. I'm busy with exams here, so I could not learn.
I was
My
also
biggest
eager
enemy,
to
you
hear
know,
you, Prabhu.
my biggest enemy is His Divine Grace, Sami Prabhu.
Oh, Prabhu.
you know, I will be so much happy the day that Shri Krishna will arrange something for you that you don't have any exam.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, soon.
Yeah,
Krishna willing.
yeah, because you always telling us that you have some exam, and I feel stressed for you. I feel the
Yes,
pressure.
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Sami Prabhu stresses me more than the exam.
No, Prabhu.
So, if
Oh,
no one wants to recite, I think this is it for this week. And if some of you want to recite, we can do it next week. And please let me know in the shloka learning, what words you want to recite, and perhaps we can, do something. Even if sometimes I can join the session of Manu Prabhu, because I saw him doing nicely some very nice session to learn shloka. So thank to him, for his endeavor in that way. So yes, thank you all of you for your beautiful recitation, and hope that we can continue this in next week very nicely. So Anchakalpatarubhyascha Pasindubheva Patstanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Nantakuchi Vaishnavlinde ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.
Prabhu. Thank you so much,
See you
Prabhu.
next week, dear Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your kind association and also for coordinating this. And yes, Jordan Prabhu saying he has to leave now, but he'll come back. Yes, please do come back. Haribol. And now over to Sami Prabhu for the sadhana chart. So, Prabhu, kindly make this a little bit quick. About 3 to 4 minutes you have. And since Siddharth Prabhu's battery is running out and he cannot charge, you please make this quick, okay? Just read the top 10 very quickly. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu.
Haribol. Yes, Prabhu. 1 second. Here is the top 10. Oh, what do we see here? Dina Krishna Prabhu is the winner, like always. He has the crown. But the second, Smita Krishna Prabhu with 680 points. He's really close to Dina Krishna Prabhu. And then we find Shrikant Prabhu with 675 points, 5 points short of Smita Krishna Prabhu. So really close there. Amazingly done. And then we have Gaura Shakti Prabhu with, I don't know who this is actually. Does anyone know who this is?
No, Prabhu, I don't know who that is.
Yes, Prabhu. Who this?
I don't know either. Is he new or something? No.
Yes, Prabhu. It
I
is
think Gaura Shakti Prabhu needs to guide him.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, definitely. He is doing very well.
Haribol. And here is our scientist, 5th place. Haribol. Dida is Prabhu. Top 5.
Haribo, the scientist.
Haribo, Jai, Scientist Maharaj ki.
Jai.
Jai, Jai.
Abhay Prabhu, 6th, and Bajahari Prabhu, 7th.
Jai. Jai.
Oh, Bajahari
All
Prabhu
right.
also.
Jai.
So this week
Jai.
I failed also. I will next week fill every day. Sorry, Prabhu.
Next week, Sami Prabhu is number 1.
No
All right.
problem.
Thank you so much, Sami Prabhu, for your kind projection of the sadhana chart and for your transcendental narration as well. So now over to Siddharth Prabhu. Hope he's online right now. Siddharth Prabhu, when you're ready, you can start to present. And yes, Prabhu. Any technical issues or something, you can just clarify with Sami Prabhu now. And once you're ready, you can start to present. So I will tell you the rules, Prabhu. About 20 minutes you have to present. And after that, there'll be a small Q&A. Any devotee who has any doubts, any questions can ask you and you can answer based on the Shastra.
Yes, Prabhu.
And please do try to quote as much as possible. And once
Yes.
again, this will be uploaded in YouTube, so make it precise and very contextual. Thank you very much for your kind presentation. Excited to hear your presentation. I believe this is your first presentation, so thank you. Haribol. Hare Krishna. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Oh, thank you very much, Prabhu. All right. Is my screen being shared? Is it visible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Okay. So, what we're going to start today is the topic which I'm going to start today is about feminism, especially how it is misleading the people into their own ruination. So, the name that I've given for this week's topic is Policy of Feminism, an objective view with scriptural insights. So, power may get cut anytime, so it's been erratic for a while now. So I'll just keep it as brief as possible within the stipulated time of 20 minutes. All right. So one more time, it's all visible, right? This screen. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Please go ahead, Prabhu.
Yes. So the definition of feminism given as per Google will deal with two main words. Let's have a quick look at that. So here we have femininity is the advocacy. Advocacy is nothing but supporting of a certain idea. So it's the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of equality of the sexes. All right. So the two keywords which I like to focus on are rights and equality. So rights and equality. Now we need to understand that rights are always given in conjunction, in association with obligations. And equality, I'll get to that in a bit. So, the idea of feminism, why I picked it in the, especially now, is because in the recent times, there's a lot of relevance of it. The relevance is usually depicted in the context of hypersexuality. Hypersexuality, we get to see for those who do not know what hypersexuality is, it's nothing but exposure of a lot of skin by the women folk, and likewise for the women who's which is done by the men for them. So we can simply call it as exposing in order to allure the opposite sex. So this we can see in many places, especially we can see it in TVs. For those of you in India, there are many TV series. We can see this Mirzapur, or there are series such as many such teenage dramas. Then we get to see them in YouTube videos. We get to see them in Instagram. We get to see this in TikToks. A lot of women dancing, making reels where they have to move their hips in very alluring way, or they have to have their dress worn in a very skimpy fashion, exposing in a way where you do get a lot of traction for it. So this is the way it's going about. Now, this causes an alarming but undiagnosed problem, which is a downfall in a society. Because who are the victims over here? Victims are not just women themselves, but men as well, who constitute the entire society. So men and women. So given the circumstance, we have a lot of predicaments to be faced over here. Now, just a moment. When His Grace Sundar Gopal Prabhu had come to Bangalore, around 3 months ago, we were also joined by another Mataji who had recently finished a 12th standard. So Sundar Gopal Prabhu asked her that how is your chanting going on? So she said that she had reduced around from 16 to 4, which is when Sundar Gopal Prabhu gave a very insightful plus a very profound message. So he mentioned that whatever reduces your Krishna consciousness practice in a day, that you have to reject or minimize. And which is when he mentioned about the concept of university and how sly they are in their tactics, which is what I'll be explaining now. University is nothing but it's a convention. We have people coming for degrees, but here's what happens. I mean, a lot of us here are young people over here. So what usually happens in universities, we'll have a segregation of year 1, 2, 3, and 4, depending on which degree. We have BCom and BBA and all that for 3 years, and we have most of the engineering tech graduation courses for 4 years. What happens here is that forget about the academic aspects for a moment over there, but what happens here is something called unrestricted mixing of the genders, sexes. Unrestricted. What Sundar Gopal Prabhu mentioned was he straight away discouraged Mataji from going for education, especially when it deals with going to offline classes. Because what we get to generally see is that there is always these guys who are waiting like vultures, waiting to exploit the women folk, the girls. Now, it's not a matter of just 1 or 2 days or months. It's a matter of minimum 3 years. And we in Krishna consciousness give a lot of importance to association. And this association of unrestricted mixing, which is mentioned over here, is something that happens. This is nothing but association altogether. And it happens in a very subtle way, very unnoticed. It's usually not noticed. And what happens is that you're already sharing the opinions. You're already in alignment. You're in congruence with the opinions of a lot of karmis. And this way, association happens in such a way that whatever we give priority to becomes all bogus and rascaldom aspects of life. Because think about it, anyone who's not Krishna conscious is technically an obstacle in our lives. Now, this Mataji, even though assuming that she didn't, she's clearly chanting 16 rounds, but due to the exams, she had to reduce her chanting altogether. And this, if you know one of the aspects of Sharanagati, which is surrender, we have to. There's a second aspect of, just a minute, I'll just put that. Surrender. Yeah. Now, the aspects of surrender is given over here. The first one is you have to accept things favorable for discharging devotional service, and second is reject things unfavorable. So, what should be done over here is association is not just in terms of direct physical interaction, but also those things which are going to affect your Krishna consciousness advancement. So, the dangers which is faced by the people in university is that philosophically we are trained we are trained to be independent, and the best victims, or rather should I say the worst victims, are the women, because this in the long run is going to disrupt the family units, because as his Grace Sundar Prabhu told that women in the, at least during our grandmother times, whenever they had any disputes or conflicts, they always used to resolve it in the conventional ways of talking about or consulting the elders. But now, because of this degree which we usually get, we become puffed up. We become puffed up in such a way that we think that we do not need a man. I'm talking in the perspective of women. So they feel that if they are in the position to earn a bread and butter for themselves, why do we need men? And that way, the concept of family gets rattled. And this progresses in a very linear fashion, which is not noticed as much, but the birth rates, at least in the research I have done in the few, considering the last few years, have declined considerably. And we are nothing but following the trends of the West. So slowly we get to see that a lot of dresses which we used to have for the women folk from saris have turned into pants. Now, wearing pants is a simple depiction that women are trying to be men. But as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, that men and women are never equal. They're important in a unit, which is a society, but they are never equal. Now, if you can check this conversation, which is in just on the morning walk on 10 December 1975, Brindavan, if you can see this part of the line where equal rights are highlighted, Prabhupada, it may require, no, I said that if you are equal rights, then make some arrangement. Sometimes you become pregnant, sometimes he becomes pregnant. Why there is not right, equal right? So this goes to show that we are not just biologically different, but our entire perspective in terms of mental, emotional are also different. All right. So, considering this fact, a lot of people have had backlashes, especially when it comes to fighting for equal rights, because now that we have men and women working in places trying to get equal pay, a lot of things have become very, very disruptive for the entire society as a whole, because the family units are disrupted. Now, I'll give a brief history about how feminism came about. This started off during the phase of industrial revolution. And here, a lot of philanthropists, they promoted two main aspects for modern welfare, which was first universities and then United Nations. Now, they used these universities and United Nations to do something called social engineering. And this social engineering was slowly instilling ideas in the women's mind that we do not need to be under a man, which was originally the case. Patriarchy is the natural order in life, but it has been so much inculcated in the women's side over the course of 2 to 3 years that independence is key. So the people, the leaders, because these philanthropists eventually ended up going into the political arena, making policies. Now, this clearly goes to show that, first of all, if you can see 19 point, yeah. chapter. Now, if you can see the purport over here, Manu Samhita enjoins. Manu Samhita is nothing but the logbook for mankind. It enjoins that they should not be given freedom. That is, the women should not be given freedom. A woman must always be protected, either by father, by her husband, or by her elderly sons. By her father when the woman is young. By the father when the woman is a child, and by her husband when she is in a youth, and by her elderly sons when she is in an old age. So clearly, the entire essence of Vedic perspective is that a woman should be given protection. All right. So protection is what is needed. But what this political agenda has propagated is that since they are in industrial revolution, they needed more money. Now, for more money, they needed more workforce. So they needed more workforce. Obviously, in the United States at the time, right, they had a lot of difficulties in getting the immigrants because there was a lot of bureaucratic work and a lot of processes were there. But a quick fix that was available for them was, why not introduce women into the workforce? Now, when women were introduced in the workforce, the government's, the entire nation's income doubled, meaning the government got double the income tax. Now, this is a clear-cut mentality of a greedy person, or should I rather call it a demonic person. Now, we have this quote given in the Srimad Bhagavatam 12.22. So, in Kali Yuga, wealth alone will be considered a sign of man's good birth, proper behavior, and fine qualities. And law and justice, this is the point I'm trying to make. Law and justice will be applied only on the basis of one's power. So, it's conveniently depicted here that these philanthropists are the ones who get into the political arena, who make laws so that their pockets get filled up. And by doing that, what they did was they introduced the women force into the they introduced the women folk into the workforce, introducing more and more money into their pockets. Now, what they did additionally with this was that they gave the ideas of why not start smoking, because cigarettes, no matter where you go, right, are going to be a constant source of revenue for any state, any nation. Smoking and alcohol. So, in the second wave of feminism, smoking was a woman having cigarette was shown to be as empowering. But in the background, what happened was women were becoming more and more infertile over the gradual years of smoking, and this eventually led them to not to have a lot of health issues. And because they were not being able to have or foster, to nurture babies, they slowly started introducing concept of abortion, because having a kid will make sure that the woman has to be home. So they told, why have kids in the first place? Let's have abortions. So feminism introduced not just intoxication, which is one of the main Krishna consciousness rule for us, to not indulge in intoxication, be it alcohol or smoking. But they introduced something called killing also in a womb. So this entire chain was for powerful people to fulfill their lust. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned it rightly. We either serve Maya or we serve Krishna. And these are one of such people. We always get ourselves implicated when it comes to employment. So we are technically working for these kind of people. So what has happened here is that now that abortion also has become a pro movement, what if there were already kids? What about them? Kids were sent to compulsory public education. And in those schools of public education, which was compulsory, right? They were all designed to be programmed as either soldiers or laborers. And usually these kind of kids, not these kind, generally, most of us end up having some sort of a crisis. We'll have midlife crisis, or we'll definitely, because we are being taught according to what their agenda is. So if you can see most of our history, it has something to do with Mughals. I'm talking about Indians, Mughals or Congress, or about Gandhiji. All these people were against something called against God consciousness, which our entire Krishna consciousness is all about. It's Srila Prabhupada movement is all about. All these people were against it, and this has been propagated all throughout. Which is what, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are able to come to the fact that we have been programmed, we have been conditioned, and to undo that, we have our movement over here, which speaks of protection for womankind. As stated in Manu Samhita, we need to give them protection. Because I did have a few discussions with a few women, and all they stated was, it is not about the money. They wanted independence. They sought independence. They wanted to enjoy with this, which is when I mentioned to them about them being able to enjoy is not possible. Because if you can see Bhagavad Gita 9.24, Krishna states that I am the only enjoyer. The word which you have to emphasize is only. And we are foolishly trying to enjoy. We are trying to mimic. So I told the idea is ruled out. So this kind of education is a good start altogether, because no matter how much we try to enjoy, it is going to be only an artificial means of temporary happiness. So we can't get to enjoy. So protection is what they seek, because no matter where they go, right, they feel unsafe. Let it be to work or let it be to education, because those are the two main things they usually do: working and education. So protection is a key. Now, the entire reason for this feminism was because of lusty men. And these lusty men rule this world. Think about it. If there are women and they are strongly protected either by their father or husband, where is the question of anything to do with any kind of attack on them? Obviously, I'm talking in a sense where a strong moral upbringing is there, because many of the cases of at least the recent rapes have always been outside the house, away from the vicinity of a family backup, because that's when these people strike. They strike when a woman is usually helpless. So these kind of people, this is nothing but a depiction of our great, not great, our Ravan, who is a great depiction of how a man taken over by desires act. They see a condition where a woman is helpless, who is aggrieved, and they utilize such an opportunity for their own sense gratification. So Srila Prabhupada, with his movement, is trying to have us follow the footsteps of Lord Ram. So we are being trained in such a way where we are focusing on protecting the women. So this entire concept is that we end up usually one way or the other falling for the especially the message is generally for the, I'm cutting it down short again. The entire message right now, I'm going to keep it for the university boys, who usually end up falling for one way or the other into the relationship trap. So we need to be aware that we are not the enjoyer, as mentioned in 924. We cannot enjoy this life. at least in our mental concocted ways. So what we can do is, just a moment. Nine, 10. So this is a chapter where a demigod ended up falling as a human, being cursed as a human, and didn't learn his lesson just yet. But in order for his relief, the woman he tried to associate with was giving him a very profound lesson, which is as follows. Urushi said, "My dear king, you are a man, a hero. Don't be impatient and give up your life. Be sober and don't allow senses to overcome you like foxes. Overcome your senses." Okay? So, for overcoming the senses, we have Krishna consciousness, which I'll get to in a while. Don't let the foxes eat you. In other words, you should not be controlled by your senses. Rather, you should know that the heart of a woman is like that of a fox. There's no use making friendship with women. All right. So, cutting to the next sloka. Women, this can be a little triggering, but please bear with me. It's anyway given in the Srimad Bhagavatam as a defense. Women as a class are merciless and cunning. They cannot tolerate even a slight offense. For their own pleasure, they can do anything irreligious, and therefore they do not fear killing even a faithful husband or wife. Oh, sorry, husband or brother. Now, I can give you a small example, at least based on my experience in universities. We'll definitely see during class hours, there are some women who cut the class, are in a mall. Now, they didn't hesitate to lie, or they didn't hesitate, or they didn't even think about being caught by any chance, because a clear-cut intention is that to enjoy, which cannot be denied. And there are many times they have to lie especially in the evening times, especially to their parents, saying that they're here or there. So that goes to show that they are courageous when it comes down to it. They are totally driven. So following this verse, we have another example, again, a little bit provocative. Women are easily seduced by men. Therefore, polluted women give up friendship of a man who is their well-wisher and establish false friendship among fools. Indeed, they seek newer and newer friends, one after the another. And this is what I started off with. Because women are easily seduced, the Manu Samhita enjoins that they should not be given freedom. So when a father, see, Prabhupada mentioned that they are not kept as slaves. They are given protection like children. Children are usually given a lot of vigilance and care because they lack the necessary intelligence to keep up with their own well-being, which is why we override their freedom, but again, not in a very demeaning way, but for their own protection altogether. So, a woman must be always protected either by a father, by a husband, or by an elderly son. If women are given freedom to mingle with men like equals, which they now claim to be, they cannot keep their propriety. The nature of a woman, as personally described by Urvashi, the demigoddess, is to establish false friendship with someone and then seek new male companions, one after another, even if this means giving up the company of a sincere well-wisher. Considering the people in university, I'm sure you would have seen tales like these. So this is a conclusion I like to make. So in order for us to not fall a prey for this equals, we need to give importance that women and men are not equals because we are biologically different. And we are not supposed to be treated as equals because our roles are different. So we need to also, that's just like how Prabhupada told that head and feet are both important, but they're not treated equally. This is a portion which we have to work on. And for this, we have to be trained. Training is done in 343. Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendent to the material senses, mind, and intelligence, O mighty and Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, that is Krishna consciousness. And thus, by spiritual sense, conquer the insatiable enemy known as lust. So, Krishna consciousness is a perfect solution for battling such movements as feminism, which is meant to destroy the family structure altogether. So, Krishna consciousness asks us to follow the four regulative principles, which is no meat eating, no intoxication, and no illicit sex, and no gambling. We also should chant 16 rounds minimum. And have only Krishna Prasadam. So this way, what happens is we are doing an austerity by controlling our bodily demands. When bodily demands are controlled, we are naturally switching from the bodily conception of life to spiritual, which keeps us in a very controlled fashion and not be allured by the senses. Now, provided all this is backed up with association. Because our association is usually with karmis, and karmis are always in they're only see, when people say there are people have their opinions and all that, there are no opinions of any sorts that way. There are only two opinions as stated by Krishna. So here it is. Krishna says that, O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. Two kinds only. He never told there are many, like how people say that many people have different opinions. No, there are only two, clear cut. One is called divine, and other is demoniac. I've already explained to you at the length of divine quality now here. So by stating this, you need to know that being in Krishna consciousness gives protection. At least the men that are being trained and raised over here are all the divine types, and they are not going to fall for all these kind of lusty desires or any kind of allurement that's going to be there. And even if that there are such women, they're not going to be attracted to all these things, because it's only the low class women, example given by Ravana, only they are going to flood all these comments you see on Instagram or YouTube. So these are the kind of people that's ruling all these things, and they encourage feminism. Because if we start protecting the women, they don't get to play any role of trying to harass or exploit or assault. So this is the entire essence of feminism. Feminism is nothing but, again, a movement started by the rich, powerful people for them to exploit all kinds of wealth that is possibly available for them. The resource exploitation being stopped is a problem for them from at least God conscious movements such as Krishna conscious movement over here. So with this, I'd like to stop, and with the constraint of time, I'd like to abruptly stop over here. Yes, if you have any questions, please can go ahead.
Yes. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandal Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, am I audible right now?
Yes, Prabhu, you are.
Okay, so first of all, the
Yes.
presentation was really nice, Prabhu. It was really, really good. So now you mentioned about the fallacies with the modern system, right? More feminism and all that.
Yes, sir.
So now Srila Prabhupada also mentioned about starting a Varnashrama system for the whole world and such, right? So do you think that there is a need for like a grassroots level societal change? If so, how would you propose that would be done?
Good. A good question, by the way. Now, Prabhu, first of all, there is this one misconception with equal rights, right?
Yes,
Like I
Prabhu.
mentioned, men and women are not equal. But women these days, they say that they want priority in first. But that's not possible because you're supposed to protect them. Now now the question about Varnashrama system is a hierarchy, agreed? Or you can say a division.
Yes, Prabhu.
Now, this is not being done by the universities because what they're saying is that everyone is equal, everyone is independent, you can do whatever you want. But like I said, there are only two kinds of people, those who follow and those who don't follow. Now, no matter how much we try to do anything in terms of spreading, right, there are certain people who will always oppose all these things in terms of telling that it's not possible or it's not viable. It is not true because, again, they all want to enjoy all together. So there are only this demonic and divine people. The grassroots level of implementing this is just by spreading this message, Prabhu, and exposing them the lifestyle. Because again, I used to be a feminist myself, but if you get to the bottom of it, right, all we are doing is different grades of enjoyment, and just for our sense gratification, which again puts them at risk. But now that if we go walking with a female, it's not like the woman is not going to be looked at by other men. They're going to be there. Now, we need to see that their exposure to all of this must be reduced altogether, meaning we have to walk only when it's needed. Absolutely. Which is when Prabhupada mentioned that women are not necessarily suited for preaching. And there was this example which I don't remember, where one Mataji asked if she could go and do book distribution. But when she did go for book distribution, no, men came to her only for the sake of associating with her and not for the sake of the books she had in her hands. So that way, we cannot right away establish it because this movement is first trying to grow as many Brahmanas as possible. And with the Brahmanas, this is usually by training through Brahmacharya system, which Prahlad Prabhu is doing a good job with Brahmacharya system. So this, when we have more and more in number, they can provide knowledge as to how the rest of the categories of people should be trained, which is our warriors, Kshatriyas, our merchants, and our Shudras. Now, our current society of university is all making us Shudras, where no matter how many degrees we do know, we still have to end up begging for a job, which is what His Grace Sundar Gopal Prabhu also told. We are always ending up being a mixture of Shudras of different categories, meaning we are going to do the same sense gratification without having anything to do with Krishna consciousness, where if you know that one concept given by him, if we keep Krishna as center and we go about working, many people have the interest, no? As in, if I'm working with the center of Krishna consciousness, and you're also working with the same center of Krishna consciousness, and he's also working the same center of Krishna consciousness, there's no intersection as such. But we have different centers altogether. There are going to be intersections which is going to cause conflict. So this is something which is not being taught over here, and this is done by Krishna consciousness. So by giving such knowledge and training brahmacharyas, more and more devotees, that way, over a course of time, we will definitely be able to establish the very system of Varnashrama. And that way, a very peaceful society will reign. I hope this answers your question, Prabhu.
Understood, Prabhu. If it's okay, can I have one follow-up question?
Yes, Prabhu, please, by all means.
Okay, thank you. So you mentioned about now that in the current situation we have a lot of freedom and we are indoctrinated with the idea that equality exists and you are free to do what thou will. That is the core philosophy of the current society, right?
Yes,
The
Prabhu.
liberal philosophy. So when you have such a philosophy where the idea, it's a very seductive idea that you have, where you are free to do whatever you want. It's a very seductive idea. Now, when our movement steps in and tells people that, you know what, you're not actually free, you are not actually the enjoyer, Krishna is the enjoyer, society at large would not receive it well enough, right? So how do you think we can make our message more palatable for them, or yeah, or get them to accept it more easily, basically, Prabhu?
Now, like I was saying earlier, women are under the wrong conception right now. They feel they're equal. Think about it, Prabhu. Think about anything to do with, let's say, this laptop or the phone which you're using to talk. The factories that help make all this, were women a part of it majorly?
Nope.
They can't be. Similarly, this entire nation runs on defense and infrastructure. Now, we don't see women fighting the front lines. Even if they could, they won't. Similarly, you don't see women, infrastructure. Let's take an example of cell phone towers. You don't see women, doing maintenance and like, let's say around 50-foot cell phone tower. They don't. You don't get to see that. So that's one thing they have to recognize, is that the entire structure, the fabric of how we are made is different. Now they want to be, Prabhu, your question was how to, could I get the question one more time, if you don't mind?
Sure, Prabhu. So basically, my question was that now the idea of equality and do what the will is wrong. So now when we are pushing our message,
Yeah.
how can we get them at large to accept it? Because you understand that this is a very selective idea, right? You're free to do
Yes.
whatever you want. So it's a very selective idea, basically. It's captured the minds of the major population of our
Got it.
current civilization. So how can we push our message? That's
Yes.
what that was my guess, Prabhu.
So first we have to make them aware of this fact that they are a part of a structure altogether where they don't get to win, meaning they don't get to enjoy. This knowledge should be given in a material scale altogether. Now, because when they reject Krishna altogether from the start, it clearly shows that they're envious. Now, no matter what you do or don't do, you are going to suffer, because the role of a woman is three dharma. Three dharma is given. Just a minute. Which was the verse? Huh. Three dharma is given. I forgot the sloka. Hold on. It's better do your prescribed duties. Yeah, 335. So this world comes in a cycle of yajna. Now we have to be a part of that creative cycle. Now women are trying to do something which is not in their best self-interest, because if you can see, like I said over here, defense and infrastructure is the main thing what a nation runs on. But they are not contributing anything on a general scale, because their nature is to be nurturers and caretakers, which is the best suited in a family structure. But they are trying to get out altogether, trying to be as well as a man. So what happens here is that it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, that as a mother or as a wife, even though faultily, than another's duties perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is far better than engaging another's duties for to follow another path is dangerous. Now, this is a way you'll have to make them aware of the consequences altogether. Because no matter how you act, it's going to backfire altogether, because it's told over here at 1624, I guess. Yeah, 1624. Yeah. So when they discard all such instructions, which is again a woman's role is best suited, with exceptions of course, it's best suited to take care of the entire family. there are many such units of families which build a better society altogether. But that way, we don't get to see that happen these days because they are very much oblivious to the consequences of their actions. So, Krishna stated over here, he who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims, like you said, seductive views. Obviously, it's very easy to give into your sense gratificatory ways, attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. So again, the bottom line answer is that you have to make them aware with the reference to such context, with the consequences they are facing, because women generally now have their focus on their careers, and by the time they're done with settling with career, they're already around 30, 35, and biologically speaking, also their eggs are all dried up. So the only way they can be happy is to have a family, because that's their innate inclination altogether, to be a nurturer altogether. But now they have a lack of such men for them, because men already they have this, like, why should I try and marry someone who's much older when I have someone who's much more younger, and on top of that being more loyal altogether, because a woman who's come to 30, 35 has given preference to herself all this while. So her trying to serve someone or be subservient becomes too much for her to take altogether. So that way, a consequence already, these consequences already exist, and many women are suffering. That is why there is a huge sale of antidepressants. There is like sleeping pill intake. Prescription drugs are becoming more and more in demand because of these things altogether. So that way, they started living in denial altogether, saying that they started shaming a lot of women who have their own families, meaning you don't have to be a baby factory. And these kind of things are promoted in sitcoms, namely Friends,
Yes, Prabhu.
or many sitcoms where they say, like, who wants to be loyal to a husband when you can live your own life. There are many toxic series like 90210, all
Yes, Prabhu.
talking about a promiscuity. So when they can't get what they want, they'll make sure others also don't get what they want, who are perfectly capable of getting it. So this kind of society is what is being rolling around, and these thoughts are being given in social media also, and it's normalized in such a way that people are propagandized in order to become more and more independent. It's nothing but trying to equalize with men so that they can demonize their sense gratification altogether. So again, Prabhu, it's only about spinning knowledge to them in at least ways they can understand, or just get them directly in association with Krishna consciousness, namely through, at least by the latest example and instances I've been, through Krishna Prasadam. So gradually having them in association, things are likely to change for the better for them.
Yes, Prabhu. And yeah, your answers. I think it's really true, Prabhu, that unless we push the message, there's no question of changing society. And if I can add on, Prabhu, if that's okay
Yes.
with you, just a
Yes,
short
Prabhu.
note. So I remember, because you mentioned the example of how promiscuity is being promoted. So in my college we had a one particular discussion. It was a moderated discussion, and I was also part of it. So where they were, I had a professor. He came and he started speaking, and he spoke about how marriage is. He's a very atheistic person. He's a Periyarist also, and he keeps insulting God on a regular basis. So he was saying that how marriage is something that binds women, and actually we are meant to enjoy our sexual impulses, and we are meant to pursue it. But now society has fortunately advanced where we've come to a point where we can divorce based on a coffee. And I asked him a question, sir. Is sexual discipline not important? And then he told, well, what is sexual discipline? Is it only this particular time? And I told, and I saw a lot of girls getting very inspired by what he was saying. That, oh yes, what he's speaking is right, and yes, we need to enjoy our sexuality. And at the same time, they bash men also. It's such a, what do you say? It's a cognitive dissonance on a massive level that's being pushed to the whole youth.
Yes, Prabhu. Again, a very much relevant verse I have for that. Just a sec. If you can see this,
Yes,
When a
Prabhu.
devotee, see, when you would have spoken definitely against them. You spoke about Krishna, you would have spoken about his message. Fools write me when I descend in a human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the true, as the supreme lord of all that be. Now, when they reject Krishna, when they reject the authority of Krishna, this is what happens to them. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, spirituality is gone. Their fruitive activities and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. So this is the condition of the demoniac people altogether.
Yes, Prabhu. That's very, very true. It's an apt verse for the whole situation.
Yes. So no
Thank you
matter
so much,
what you do,
Prabhu.
Prabhu, it's only about association, and Krishna Prasad the best way. At least that's what a lot of Prabhus have mentioned, including His Grace Mahaprabhu, who I just recently met. We met in Bangalore, right? So that's when I asked him about all these situations. It's prasadam is the only way for demoniac people because they usually don't decline food, no matter where it is from.
Yes, Prabhu.
So the best way of pushing it is through prasadam. I hope that
Yes,
answers your
Prabhu.
question, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your time and for your answers. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Prabhu Danda Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhu. Are there any other questions anyone like to ask? I'm sorry I had to cut down a few things because I thought the power will go at any time. Anyone else?
Thank you so much, Siddharth Prabhu. There seems to be no more questions. Thank you for your very nice
Thank you
presentation. It
so
was
much,
very
Prabhu.
logical
Yes, bye.
and
Thank you so much,
it
Siddharth
was very
Prabhu. Very nice
logical presentation.
presentation.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hari Bol. All good to the Prabhupada.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the opportunity, Karthi Prabhu, and thank you everyone for listening to me. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada. Very nice, Prabhu. Very nice. Hope to hear perhaps more presentations from you in the future, especially this style where you just write down the points and teaching it like a teacher style, I would say. So that's very nice. And also the verses that you showed also were very apt for the situation, both for the Q&A
University
and for
kids,
the.
university guys are sorry. I don't mean kids because I've been a victim myself. So yes, I just wanted to constrict it to only the university people, considering it to be a younger crowd now.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that's a fact. And,
I
yeah,
hope it
very nice
helps.
verses showed as well. Yeah, it definitely helps. Prabhu. Thank you.
I'll send the verses in the group, the main group.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, sure. Thank you very much once again, Prabhu. So since there are no other questions, we'll go to the other
Segment.
event. The next event is the Q&A. So Hare Krishna Prahlad Prabhu Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you so much for joining, Prabhu,
Hare
despite your
Krishna,
busy
Prabhu
schedule.
Danda
Hare
Pranam. Jai Srila
Krishna,
Hare
Prahlad
Prabhupada.
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Prahlad Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri
Jai
Krishna
Shri
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Jai Shri Prabhu.
Over to Srila
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna Prabhu, please accept my obeisances on Vasishtha
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Prabhu Danda Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
So yes, also Siddharth Prabhu, your presentation will be posted in YouTube in a few days' time. And yeah, so we are over to the Q&A. So any devotees who have their questions, they can type in the chat, and Prabhu will answer once he gets back online. Very good. Yes, Jordan Prabhu, you can ask a question. Perhaps if Prahlad Prabhu is a little bit busy, then any of us here can answer a question. Perhaps Srikant Prabhu and Sami Prabhu can answer a question here. You can ask a question, Prabhu, either in chat or by asking. Sami Prabhu and Srikant Prabhu, and you can answer for the time being that Prabhu is not online. So please go ahead, Prabhu. The question is, when was the Bhavishya Puran written, and is it a trustworthy source?
Prabhu, I have no idea actually.
How can Pandit have no idea, Prabhu?
Prabhu, how would I have it? Let's see what Prabhupada has said.
Okay, so the Bhavishya Puran is an authorized scripture. It's an authorized scripture. And with regards to the translations, then I'm not sure. But any translations used of the Bhavishya Puran by our senior devotees in some of their ISKM videos, perhaps which you have seen in YouTube, yeah, all of them are authorized. But if you were to go and read them on your own, yeah, then it's not recommended because it requires some amount of intelligence, you know. When you read Srila Prabhupada's books, you get the idea of the philosophy. Then from the lens of Srila Prabhupada, you're viewing other scriptures and their translations, then you can get to know which is bona fide, which is not. So it requires some spiritual discrimination and intelligence. So why to go and speculate? So if you see that our senior devotees have quoted something from there, then it's a bona fide translation which they've quoted. But otherwise, just don't go and try to find out different things. Okay. So you asked, how do we know though? Because people always interpret its translations. Yeah, people are always going to interpret any translation. So we don't try to worry about them. We try to focus on Srila Prabhupada's books and we try to preach according to Srila Prabhupada's books. Right? Because this is Kali Yuga, Prabhu. In Kali Yuga, people want to do what? People want to speculate their own varieties of religion or religious systems. That is why in the Shastra it is stated, people take to irreligion as religion and religion as religion. That is the tendency of persons who are demoniac. So we don't focus on them. We just focus on us, first of all, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, assimilating the knowledge, and try to preach to those who are innocent or who are willing to actually listen and take advantage. You see, not to those who are always trying to argue and try to find faults or trying to prove superiority over you. Those people, just ignore them. Don't focus on them because it seems from the way you've written your text, I kind of feel that you're kind of disturbed by other people saying nonsense. Don't focus on them. Such people will always be there. So then you have also asked, how do we know ISKM has good translations? Well, yeah, I mean, anything that is quoted by our senior devotees is bona fide translation because I told you it requires some spiritual intelligence and spiritual discrimination to see what is bona fide, what is not. Regarding the Bhavishya Purana, Manusmriti, Padma Puran, all these texts are bona fide literatures, no doubt about it. Okay, so when you see that our senior devotees are quoted from certain sections for certain videos, then you just accept it as fact. All right. So as far as now, I mean, I don't think it's required for any of us here to go and check the individual translations and check out their authenticity because we are not so much spiritually advanced. And it's also not required. Prabhupada never asked us to read any books such as Bhavishya Purana or anything. He told us to focus on his books and preach according to his books because his books are the essence, you see, of all the Vedic literatures. Hmm? But how do we know if we are blind following or following the highest truth? Yeah, you read Prabhupada's books, you chant Hare Krishna, you associate with the devotees and see how your life changes. Understand? You judge by the result, Prabhu. Anything that is tangible, you try to judge by the result. So you chant Hare Krishna, you read Prabhupada's books, you try to speak with the devotees, and then you judge by the result. Hmm? And then, yeah, you will definitely see, because some things have to be realized. You see, of course, I'm sure you know all the logical part because I've spoken with you. So that's what I'm telling you. Practice and you see how your life changes. What if I do that and I feel nothing? Well, you see, Prabhu, fire is fire. It will burn. You see, it will burn. So in the initial stages, when you're practicing, you don't have any taste, nor do you have much inclination or interest because we've been so programmed by this modern education system by your parents, by your friends, by your relatives, by the society, by the country, so on and so forth, that we have been so programmed and trained from birth to kind of go against the religious systems and to kind of do your own thing to maintain your own independence. So this has polluted our consciousness. You see. So Sami Prabhu, you can share this verse. It was shared by Gaurav Shakti Prabhu in today's Vaishnava Sangha chat. Poison as well as nectar. You know what I'm referring to? Happiness in the mode of goodness. You know, can you go to that verse, Sami Prabhu, very quickly? Happiness in the mode of goodness is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Right. So the time being when you're there, that's the point. So you just practice. You just keep practicing. All right. So once you practice, then you'll start to experience, because right now we are so conditioned, we are so polluted that it takes some time. You see, it takes some time. So you keep practicing, you keep chanting, you keep reading Prabhupada's books. Especially try to associate with the devotees as much as possible if you can, because Nimai Prabhu is there nearby. And when you do that, then you will uh, you'll feel the change much more faster. So just keep practicing. So Sami Prabhu, are you there with the verse? I don't think it's so hard to find. Wait, I will find out the verse. Bhagavad Gita 18.37. 18.37. Right. Okay. So this is from the Bhagavad Gita. So that which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. So you see, in the beginning, it might feel difficult or it might feel frustrating, boring, whatever. But as time goes on, as you sincerely practice, then you start to enjoy the happiness. Understand? So if you can read the purport also, Prabhu, you can scroll down, Sami Prabhu. Yeah. In the pursuit of self-realization, one has to follow many rules and regulations to control the mind and the senses. Hmm? All these procedures are very difficult, just like poison. Like we say, right? Wake up in the morning, chant Hare Krishna, take only Krishna Prasadam, associate with the devotees, be very careful in your class or wherever you're going. Do not associate with the people, and then follow the four regulative principles. Yeah, it's like poison in the start. But if you're sincere and if you're successful in following the regulations, then you come to the transcendental position and you start to enjoy and you start to feel transcendental pleasure. You see? So that is the point. All right. So you just keep practicing. You don't need to doubt the process, or you don't need to, I would say, overcomplicate things in your head. You just follow the process, and eventually you will get to the destination. So just be patient. Patience is very important. You see. So if you go to Nectar of Instruction, verse number 3, Sami Prabhu. See, patience is important, Prabhu. I've also been chanting for some time. Srikant Prabhu is chanting. All of us are chanting. But none of us are in the epitome. You see, the pure chanting. All of us are just trying to chant for the pleasure of, actually, for purifying ourselves and for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, because he told us to chant, and we have all committed to him, so we chant 16 rounds. Yeah, some days it's difficult, some days it's not difficult. The process is difficult. Some days a little bit easier, but just stick with the process, and the gain is inevitable. That's a fact. You know. So you see, in the Nectar of Instruction 3, Prabhu, you can zoom out. I cannot see the entire translation. Yes, yes, right. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service: being enthusiastic, okay, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to the regulative principles, abandoning the association of non-devotees, and 6, following the footsteps of the previous acharya. So you see, the third point here is being patient. You see, the third point is being patient. You should not actually be, I would say, very much agitated or trying to be result oriented. You have to do this because it is your duty. and you pray to the Lord, and then you read Prabhupada books. Go cry with the devotees if you don't, if you have some difficulties, and reveal your mind to them, and that way slowly, as time goes on, you'll get purified, because we are all conditioned souls from time immemorial. So you cannot expect to get purified like this in an instant. Of course, it is possible if you do the pure chanting, but none of us are in that stage, or none of us are that much fortunate. So we are all chanting in the aparas, and we are all trying to do whatever we can. But eventually, you will definitely get purified. So this is a matter of faith, you see. So now that you're asking, what if I do and never get there? No, that is not possible, because the words of the Shastra can never go wrong. And you're also asking, how am I guaranteed I will be purified and get the nectar? You will feel it, Prabhu. You know, what I suggest to you right now is, instead of asking all these questions and complicating things in your head, you try to chant. Okay, try to chant a daily fixed number of rounds. I believe you're chanting 8 rounds or 16 rounds. I'm not sure. Whatever rounds you are chanting, you make it constant, and you especially try to associate with the devotees. You see, when you associate with the devotees, then automatically you start to make much more strong, concrete spiritual progress. You see, so you keep chanting. Yeah, you're chanting 16 rounds for weeks, and you felt nothing. I've been chanting 16 rounds for a long time. I don't feel nothing. Sami Prabhu, do you feel something?
No, Prabhu.
So Prabhu, you don't worry. You just continue the process. You continue the process, and you. Oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hundred pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Prabhupada. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing okay, Prabhu.
Nice presentation by Siddharth Prabhu. It was very nice.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandar Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada, Dandavat Pranam. We bol.
Prabhu, actually, Jordan Prabhu has some questions. Of course, I was answering his question, but now that you're there, you can maybe please enlighten him. So I'll just read
So
out
that
his
I will
question,
show you.
Prabhu.
I will show you the
Yes.
Singapore chariot. For Singapore, 3 chariots are getting made. Did you see last time when you come here?
Haribol.
Yes, Prabhu, I saw the bike. Yeah.
I'm here in the house. I can show you.
Prabhu, the
Oops, I
camera
think
is
I have
quite
to.
blurry, Prabhu.
Yeah, that option. No, we have to change the option. The blurry option to be changed, no? I have to change it.
Sami Prabhu, how do you change the camera settings?
In the video, you can go and check the video
In the
settings.
phone.
I got it. I got it. You can see now?
Haribol.
Yes, Prabhu, yes. Wow, very nice. Very big wheels.
Oh, wow.
Huge wheels.
Haribol. It's the size of temple also, almost.
Prabhu, how tall are the wheels, Prabhu? 5 feet at least? 6 feet?
Prabhu, you are muted.
Prabhu, you are muted, Prabhu, actually.
Height is 6 feet.
Wow, 6 feet, huh? Yeah.
Taller than
And what is
most of us.
Prabhu? So, how much weight can each of the chariot carry? Like one individual, how much maximum rated for?
Sorry?
The maximum weight each of the chariot can carry, Prabhu. What's the maximum rated?
No, they can carry a lot. But actually, every chariot, 30, 40, 40 people, 50 people can stand.
Is it?
Yeah.
And when you're turning, Prabhu, when you're turning the chariot, both the wheels are spinning together, or is there some differential in between, so that one wheel spins faster than the other for turning?
Both same, no? The front wheel will same like car.
Huh?
Same like car, no? Like a car. The front 2 wheels. The front 2 wheels, they control.
Oh, is it?
Axles are connected to the front wheels.
Oh, the front wheels are the turning one, not the. Okay, fine. Nice.
Same like
Very
car.
good.
And we
Oh.
have a steering. We have a steering, and then we have a braking system. There'll be a
Oh.
driver for every chariot sitting there, but no engine. Driver's duty is only the steering and brake.
Yes, so
Yeah.
Will be fun to race, Prabhu.
Sorry?
I said will be fun to race, Prabhu. Race the chariot, but there's no engine.
Even Pondicherry, we are also following the similar. We are also fitting steering and brake this year. We'll have Rath Yatra here in Pondicherry on June 27.
Haribo.
Yeah. I request all of you to come and pull the chariot and organize the event.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Will come, Prabhu. Sure.
Yes.
It'll be my first Rath Yatra, Prabhu, in lifetime. I think I'll
Really?
do it in India first. Yes, Prabhu.
You never come for last year?
No, Prabhu. I have not come last year. I didn't come.
Last year, no Rath Yatra. But year before, also it was Palaki. Yeah, we did not do for a long time. Rath Yatra. No, we did, yeah. Last to last year we did. Yeah, 2023 we did.
23. Yes. I remember Vivek Prabhu was climbing like Spider-Man and he posted
Correct.
something in High Pradesh Nadi. I was not
You
there
are,
that time.
you are not there that time. Okay.
I was not there. No. I was not there.
So reserve your holidays.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, yeah. I will
Don't
come.
cut
Actually,
don't cut
Prabhu.
too much college. Mm.
Yes, Prabhu. Actually, this weekend, Aditya Prabhu and I will be coming. The next weekend, I will be coming, and Nityanandan Prabhu will be coming. And then next weekend also for the what's that Ram Navami also I will be coming. So 3 weeks back to back.
Very good. When is Ramanavami? April
6th,
6th.
right? Yeah, 6th.
April 6th.
Sunday. Sunday.
Oh, that's Sunday. Wow.
Sunday. Yeah. So it's everybody can come if they're free.
Very good. Very good.
Yes, Prabhu.
Very good. Yeah, I won't stay long today. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
I won't be staying long. This tomorrow, next week also, I won't be staying long. These 2 weeks. Then after that, it's okay.
Prabhu,
Mm.
if it's okay to ask, Prabhu, is your health fine, Prabhu? Your voice sounds a little.
I'm okay. A little bit voice throat infection for the past 3 4 days.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
okay otherwise.
okay, Prabhu. Okay.
You got your pouch?
No, Prabhu, it's in the temple, right, Prabhu?
Okay. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yes, Prabhu. I'll be coming this week, Prabhu.
Yes, I'm going through to find out where it is, where you put. Mm.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu pouch has money, right? His
No,
pouch
it's a
should
new
always have
pouch.
money.
No, new pouch I
Oh,
gave him. He misplaced somewhere.
oh, oh my God! What a big offense he has done.
What?
How can he do this?
Yes,
What?
Prabhu. I was talking with Shamago and Prabhu, and then I completely forgot about the pouch.
No, it's no offense at all. Nothing. It's okay.
So
Prabhu,
sorry,
next
Prabhu.
time don't give him Prabhu, give me Prabhu. You're always giving him something, Prabhu. You didn't give me Prabhu.
I didn't give you the pouch.
No, Prabhu. You gave me one dhoti 1 year back. Vrindavan dhoti.
Okay. Some pouch has come from Malaysia. I was keeping one for you also. But suddenly some devotees came and asked, so I gave it to them. I was keeping one for Karthi, one for Aditya. But you or somebody
My
else
God.
came and collected.
Prabhu, give me the devotee's name, Prabhu. I want to fight.
I don't know. I will get anyway. My wife is going Malaysia. I'll ask her to get. They bought from pouch from Malaysia only. I'll ask them to buy one for you.
Yes, Prabhu. I'll be happy, Prabhu. Prabhu,
Mm.
actually, you gave me two dhotis, Prabhu, like in 2024 after Gaur Purnima because I did not have dhoti. So you gave two dhotis. One
Mm.
dhoti, what happened was, like when Parikshit was born that day, I was there. Then everybody was asking, bring the dhoti, bring the dhoti. Then I got like so much like anxiety and scared. They're all screaming. Then I didn't know what to do, what not to do. I just ran up, just brought the new dhoti and then gave. And then Parikshit was there, all the blood stain, mix. And then I washed it, but the blood was still there. So I have that one. And the second one, probably like uh, um, what's his name? Devadatta Prabhu took
Oh, they have
because
the-
he needed. So, yeah. No, Rishikesh Prabhu took the other one, the
It's
blood one.
okay. I'm not so happy in giving white dhoti. Saffron dhoti will be the best to give you.
Yes, so hopefully I qualify, Prabhu. I must.
and and I'll be happy when I give saffron dhoti to all devotees, not the white dhoti.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, so you can ask me whatever, but I'll be leaving quite soon today.
Jordan Prabhu has
Yes, Prabhu. So Jordan Prabhu has a question I can read for you because he
Yeah.
has typed out a lot. So just give me 5 seconds. Just 1 minute. So, Prabhu, I'll just read all his questions because they're all linked together. So I'll just finish reading, Prabhu. So first
Yeah.
question he asked was, when was the Bhavishya Purana written and is it trustworthy, the translations of Bhavishya Purana? Then he said, because I see some quotation in ISKM videos. How do we know that the ISKM videos has good translations with reference to Bhavishya Purana? Then after that he said, so of course I explained to him that time about senior devotees, the discrimination they have and then they can choose. Then after that he said, but how do we know if we are blind following or following the highest truth? What if I do that and I feel nothing? So he was saying that, so I just told him, no, you have to have faith in the senior devotees. They have the spiritual discrimination. So they can, even if they have to quote from other verses somewhere, since they are viewing from Srila Prabhupada's philosophy, from Prabhupada's lens, they can discriminate and they can quote. But we cannot go and say, okay, I'm reading Manusmriti or whatever, because that's not authorized by Prabhupada. And they're doing for particular reasons. So you have to have faith. Then he said, but how do we know if you're blind following or following properly? Then after that, I just told him, don't worry about all these things. You chant and you follow the regulative principles as much as you can. Then he said, Prabhu, what if I do that, but I don't feel anything? So I told him, then I quoted, I was telling him that it takes time. Then I told him, whatever seems like 18.37, if I'm not wrong, that I quoted that verse, that it seems like poison at the start, but at the end it's like nectarian. So just be patient. And I quoted Nectar of Instruction 3 to show patience, NOI 3, the third point. Then after that, he said, yes, but how do we know we get to that nectar? What if I follow, but I never get there? How am I guaranteed I will be purified to get the nectar? Then he said, I could die any day and we run out of time. Then actually you joined, so I didn't answer that part. So that's the thing. I don't know what to
First
say.
of all, why you need Bhavishya Puran? Why you want to know Bhavishya Puran? Prabhupada said is Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Nectar devotion, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is sufficient. Why
Actually,
you are?
Prabhu, he was referring to actually some devotees. If I'm not wrong, Nimai Prabhu, he was quoting from Bhavishya Puran, right? So then he got some interest and then he started to ask, are these translations bona fide?
About Bhavishya Puran, I heard from some devotees there are also a lot of inserts are there in Bhavishya Puran. A lot of inserts, later inserts are also there in Bhavishya Puran. So of course you should be very careful about Bhavishya Puran. But the best thing is that follow Prabhupada. No need all this Puran. Just Bhagavad Puran is sufficient. Bhagavad Puran is 18th Purana and that has no flaws. Srimad Bhagavatam Purana Mamalam Vaishnavam Priyam. Right? You can show the verse Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Vaishnavam Priyam. So this Bhagavatam is Puranam Amalam. Amalam means no dirt. There is no dharma, there is no artha, there is no kama, there is no moksha in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam talks about only pure devotional service. There is no scope of dharma, artha, kama, moksha in Bhagavatam. And there is no economic development, sense gratification. I mean, dharma, artha, kama, moksha means religiosity, economic development, and then sense gratification and liberation. These four things are not at all there in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam talks about how to love Krishna, how to serve Krishna. So when you are reading Bhagavad Puran and everything is inside that, and that is actually the culmination of all the Vedas and Puranas and Itikasas. So if someone is reading Bhagavad Purana, he doesn't need anything else. So if you don't trust Bhavishya Puran, there's nothing wrong in it. Just ignore it. Don't need to worry so much about this Bhavishya Puran. Just focus on what Prabhupada given you. If Nimai Prabhu is quoting something, of course, definitely he will quote the right things. He knows what is right, what is wrong, as Gati Prabhu said. But still, again, if you're not convinced about that, just leave it, no problem. Whatever Prabhupada gave, that is sufficient. You understand that, Jordan Prabhu?
So he just typed that, but Bhagavatam always mentions things which are beyond the ordinary. So how do we know if it's true?
Yeah, well, that's why the whole thing lies on the foundation called faith. And whatever Bhagavatam says, and still it is applicable now. You can see the third canto, 31st chapter. And Bhagavatam explains about how the baby is growing in the womb of a mother, which day the nail is coming, which day the heart rate, which day actually it is. All these things are explained. And 12th canto of Bhagavatam also predicting about the Kali Yuga, right? 12th canto, third chapter, you can see, people will start painting their hair and then people always look for divorce. And then, people, but just by wearing a thread, they will be known as Brahmana in Kali Yuga. So whatever 5,000 years before predicted, these are all happening now. Anyway, you have to trust somebody, Even your science is telling something, also it's beyond your imagination. And Bhagavatam saying there is also beyond your imagination. For example, even you, who is your father? Also, your mother told you. And how do you know who is your father? So the basic faith is required. The faith is shaky means that is your unfortunate. That's your unfortunate position. Right? If you don't know who is your father. And your mother said, this is my father. And you say, I don't have faith. Can you prove me? How to prove this? And you want to say DNA test. DNA test, how do you test it? How do you believe the mission? How do you believe the technology of DNA? How do you know this is right? And that when you go to the school and teachers say write A like this and B like this, and you say I don't believe this, so it is actually a problem for you. You have to have some faith. You have to trust something, but we don't tell you blindly trust it. And Bhagavatam is tested by so many people, so many personalities, and so many devotees are happy by following Bhagavatam. So throughout the world, you see the devotees are the only happiest people, and that testimony is sufficient, right? Just like if you want to see how the rice is cooked in the pot, just take one rice and check. One rice is cooked means the whole pot is cooked. And by following this Bhagavad Dharma, Prabhupada system, and this Gaudiya Vaishnavacharya's conclusion, Vaishnavism, and everybody is happy. Even a cobbler is happy. Even a household wife is happy. Everybody is happy. And by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, the bad habits are going. Even by yourself, by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you give up meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, gambling. You know, you are also giving up. Just a minute, let me charge my phone. It's going to be 10%. So you can see me. So
Yes, Prabhu.
this faith is very, very important. And it's not that everything you must experience. If someone says that if you touch the fire, it will burn you, and then you say that no, I don't believe it, then you touch and feel, right? That is not very intelligent. Now, everything you want to understand by yourself is not very intelligent. You should also learn how to understand things. You should also learn how to learn things from others' experience. And Prahlad Maharaj says, and why Prahlad Maharaj? Now you see our devotees are saying, Aditya says his testimony after chanting Hare Krishna mantra, how much he got reformed. Our Aditya is saying, our Karti is saying, if you don't believe this Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka, and all those things, just talk to our Aditya, talk to our Siddharth, talk to our Shambhoin Prabhu, and how all of them gave up their bad habits by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Clear? So, this is how we have to understand. And you understand this, Jordan Prabhu?
So Prabhu, he has also said that, but how do we know if we are blind following or it's proper faith? Then he said, so how do we follow Bhagavad Dharma?
I
This
see.
is what he
Whatever
has
Prabhupada
said.
say, you just follow this. It's not blind following. Because Prabhupada is giving the Sampradaya Acharya's conclusion. He did not went to laboratory and find something and told. Prabhupada is repeating what Bhakti Siddhanta said. Bhakti Siddhanta repeating what Bhaktivinoda Thakur said. Bhaktivinoda Thakur repeating. Like that, the parampara is going on. And all of them are happy. And that is a testimony.
So Prabhu, he has asked one more question. Also, Prabhu, Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu has Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanvat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Dhanavad
All
Pranam,
right,
Holy
Hare Krishna
Prabhupada.
Prabhu.
Hari Bol.
Pranam Jai
Jai.
Prabhu.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Bless you. Hari Bol. How are you, Prabhu?
Hari Bol.
Krishna Prabhu
Hi, fine,
Pranam,
Prabhu.
Jai
How
Shri
are
Hari.
you?
Prabhupada.
Yeah, good.
Very nice.
Hari Bol. So, the faith is very, very important. So, but that is not blind faith, because if you are doing something on your own, and that is called blind faith. But when you are doing something which is tested and advised by the acharyas, that is not blind faith. Clear? And how to follow Bhagavad Dharma? Just follow Prabhupada. Prabhupada is also Bhagavat. Clear? There are two kinds of Bhagavat. One is the book Bhagavat, one is person Bhagavat. If you follow Bhagavad Dharma, then you follow Dharma of this Bhagavat Srila Prabhupada. Clear?
Prabhu, he has asked one more question, Prabhu. As you are answering the question, he has also messaged, so I'm just reading. So he said, but if other scriptures predict and show proof about what is the highest truth, then question mark.
Which scripture? What proof? What predict? What you are trying to say? Other scripture
So
says.
then,
Other scripture says Brahma came from Lord Shiva's navel. Any other scripture say that Lord Shiva came from, sorry, Brahma came from Guvera's navel? Anything like that? All the Purana says that Brahma came from Narayana's navel and Brahma is the creator. Which scripture is denying the
He
truth?
said other religions. He said, I mean, other religion scriptures.
Forget about all these man-made religions. Even the Jesus Christ says what? Same thing, what? You follow the Father, right? The Father in the heaven is saying, who is the Father? Who is in the heaven? He understands that there is one heaven, separate planet. He also accepts that he is a male. He didn't say mother. He didn't say an object. And Quran says, La ilaha illallah. There's only one God. There's nobody is equal to him. Everybody is servant. So we don't see. And other religious scriptures are concerned, we cannot completely accept it because Bible was written 400 years after Jesus left the planet. And you don't even know who is a great grandfather name. You don't even know the name of a great grandfather. And you want to say what breakfast you took, what lunch you took? Come on. You should be joking. Oh, Jesus came and that day he eat some breakfast. He is cooked by his mother. Are you joking? He wrote 400 years after, and then you're telling what breakfast he ate? And we want to believe this book? Huh? What color dress he was putting? You should be joking. We don't even know what breakfast we had yesterday morning. You were predicting something which happened 400 years before. And all this Bible, command, the 10 commandments. What are the 10 commandments? Don't steal, and then don't have sex with other man, wife. And these things are not there in Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavad Gita is our basic scripture. Basic text is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita does not don't tell lies, and don't have sex with other man, wife. Because Arjuna is expected to possess all this basic philosophy. So Krishna is talking some higher philosophy. Actually, to be honest, there is no difference between any scripture in the world. Name it Quran, Bible, Bhagavad Gita. There is no differences. All talks about the same thing. Yeah. But if you don't understand through a proper philosophy, proper authority, then you may seemingly the different religion, different philosophy. So when I was reading Quran somewhere in the, I saw a notice board, I saw Quran verse and similarly reminded me of Bhagavad Gita verse. I mean, what is the difference? So all the scriptures say only one thing: there is only one God, and He is a person. And who is the God? Who is the person? Where is He living? That philosophy is given clearly in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam also describes what is the distance between the earth and the Vaikuntha planet. Even distance is predicted mentioned in Bhagavad Purana. What can be the most supreme scripture than Srimad Bhagavatam? After touching Bhagavatam, why you want to learn about Bhavishya Puran, this Puran, that Puran, Bible, Quran,
so he says,
I saw. So see the Quran, you see, as I said before, this Quran, Bible, we cannot be 100% correct. We cannot take it because Vyasa is incarnation of God. Muhammad is not claimed to be like that. Muhammad is just a normal human being, according to Quran. So we cannot accept 100%, all these things are fact. And also it is translated from different languages and original languages, and it got. Another thing is it is not told to some highly intellectual people. It was told to some people living in the desert. So, and there are some, see, like, if you're a teacher, if you're teaching to an intelligent boy and foolish guy, you will not teach the same way. You will not teach the same way. Clear. When you talk to intelligent guy, you give how to 100%, and you got a foolish guy, you talk about 35% pass mark. That's the difference. Yeah, Quran says to eat meat because what do you want to get in the desert? You want to get some rasagullas, gulab jamuns or what? There is no rice, there is no dal, there is no sabji, there is no vegetables, no fruits, nothing. Some dates are there. Apart from dates, what is there in the desert? So in that case, even our Vedas says that if there's nothing to eat, then you can eat meat. And our Vedas accept it. So in that context, and Quran advising to eat meat, but not for sense gratification, but for survival. Survival, you can eat anything. That's okay. And this eternal hell and all those things, this is all misunderstanding. There is no eternal hell. If there is eternal hell, then Allah is not merciful. If there is eternal hell, then Allah cannot be a merciful person. How can you say there is God who is giving permanent punishment? Will a father do? Will you do it to your own son? Will you give some eternal punishment for your son? Or you're giving punishment to transform him? So when I was preaching in Singapore to one lady, who is a Christian, and then when I was doing book distribution, and she came to me, and then she said, "May Lord Jesus bless you," or something. I said, "Yeah, He's blessing me." No, He's not blessing you because you are not believing Him. He said, "Who is not believing Him? We accept Jesus as a spiritual master." No, He's God. He's not spiritual master. Then she started talking about Bible philosophy. Then I asked one thing: Do you think the God is merciful? Then she said, "Yes, He is very, very merciful." Then I said, "Okay, according to you, I'm a rascal now, and I'm not following Bible. And if I die now, where I will go?" And she said, "You go to hell." Then what will happen after that? Nothing will happen. You'll be in the hell forever. Then I said, "Then I don't accept God is merciful." You are contradicting from your statement. If you say God is merciful, you should give me a chance. Okay, I was a rascal this life. Then you should give me a chance to transform, right? If you don't give chance to me, and then one life you gave me about 30, 40 years, and then in that 30, 40 years, I did not trust him. So, and because of then why he made me Hindu family? Why he made me in India? Why he made me an Hindu? Right? He could have made me in a Christian house, right? And she has no answer for it. She left. So it is not, doesn't make any sense. But if you see Bhagavad Gita says that, even if you are a, rascal, if you are engaging in devotional service, you should be considered saintly. That is Bhagavad Gita. That is the mercy of the Lord. What can be more powerful and more practical than Srimad Bhagavatam? Clear? So it's not good for you to read Bible or Quran, all those things. It is simply confusing. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, that Balavana Podite. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, don't read so many books. By reading so many books, you simply become bookworm. And then you get confused by reading so many books. Prabhupada give 4 books: Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion. Yeah, you can see the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Somebody can read loud.
I can read, Prabhu. It's okay.
What happened to Jordan Prabhu? Looks like he went to some big Mayavad camp today.
Yes.
Prabhu, a few weeks back, he was with Nimai Prabhu, Amala Krishna Prabhu, Jad Prabhu, and he was saying Haribo, and now
Looks like he went for some Mayavad camp, asking all the basic questions after this many years.
he's
Read
actually,
this.
yes, this is loading. Okay. If one becomes a bookworm, reading many books and scriptures and hearing many commentaries and the instructions of many men, this will produce doubt within his heart. One cannot, in this way, ascertain the real goal of life.
Cannot ascertain the real goal of life. If you want real goal of life, then you have to follow what your spiritual master gives you. If you're going to doubt the instruction of spiritual master, you're going to doubt the scriptures, then you cannot make progress. Do you understand this, Jordan, Prabhu? Then I'll answer your next question. You have any question on this? Do you still doubt Bhagavatam?
Actually, 16 years old, Prabhu, and we just started this chant, I believe, for a month or two, 16 times.
You have any questions on this topic? Then I'll go to your next question.
Prabhu, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Prabhu, I recently had a conversation with my friends. So they told they're supposed to read other books in order to come to a conclusion over here. And I'm reading only these 4 books as given by Prabhupada. So I want to know, I have faith, but I cannot communicate it to them. So, what is the suitable response to at least not drop my position of having that conviction, Prabhu?
What conviction?
Now, I told that these 4 books are enough. Read that, but I think you have to read other books or you have to read other Vedas. I cannot. I mean, obviously, they're not in a position to listen, but I felt that I lost the strength of the momentum of my argument, showing that I had lesser conviction.
Bhagavatam says that. Bhagavatam, first canto, 5th chapter. It says that Bhagavatam is the ultimate conclusion of all the Vedas and Puranas. And when you say that, then why you should read Veda? And Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says Vedas are you should reject the Vedas. Krishna is not advocating Vedas. Krishna is saying you reject the Vedas. Then why you should read Vedas?
Got it, Prabhu.
Yeah. This is Bhagavatam is high level philosophy. From there you want to come to low level. You want to read first standard, second standard philosophy. Vedas are for karma kanda people. No, there's low class people, spiritually low class people. No, and the spiritually they're very low level. They're enjoying the senses. Come on, the Bhagavatam is for highly intellectual people. Shrimad Bhagavatam, Purana Mulam Vaishnavamam Priyam. For highly intellectual people, this Bhagavatam is there.
Prabhu, and one more thing. When I realize when someone is not having faith in Krishna, how do what exactly do I see so that I stop preaching further to them? Because I feel like I end up doing over preaching sometimes.
Our job of preaching is to give them Prabhupada books and make them chant Hare Krishna. That's it. Nothing
Okay,
else.
Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu.
To convert a meat eater into a devotee, that requires Vishnu Shakti. Is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita? Without Vishnu Shakti, nobody can convert a meat eater to a devotee. So if you think your preaching can do that, you are in a greatest illusion. Our job is to give them Prabhupada books. Our job is to make them chant Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Nam Nam Akari Bahudana Sarva Saktis, Tatrapitani Yevita Swarani Nagala, Etadashi Tavakripa, Bhagavan Mamapi. That is the power of Harinam Sankirtan. Harinam has the potency to convert a person's heart. And Srila Prabhupada has the potency to elevate any rascal to pure Vaishnavism. So our job as a preacher is to give them Prabhupada. Some more other make him read Prabhupada book. Some more other make him chant Hare Krishna mantra. That is a duty.
Prabhu, you're muted.
Prabhu.
I don't know how far I was muted.
No, only for about 5 seconds. Somehow or other, then muted.
Not allowed, Prabhu.
Okay, so if you think that you are going to transform someone by your preaching, by talking for hours and hours together, it is simply waste of time. It has no effect because the conditioned soul cannot liberate anybody. As Diksha Guru, Vartava Pradashaka Guru, your job is to elevate them to Krishna consciousness. Sorry, your job is to give them Prabhupada books and give them Hare Krishna mantra. That's it. You understand this?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, so I mean, he just typed some other things, but why can't we see like basic questions like microscope?
No, I asked him
why
one
can't see
question.
other things?
Does he
Maybe I can
understand the
speak with him
authenticity
later.
of Bhagavatam first? I want the answer for that first. Then only I'll go to the next question. Ask him and answer this question. Then you can go to the next question.
Yeah.
I want to know whether he understood this or not. What is the use of skiing, microscope, and all those things? So far I told something, whether he understood that or not. That I want to know first. Then we can go to the other things.
Of course.
Any question from anybody else?
Prabhu, just one thing, Prabhu. Actually, even if they say that you have to follow Jesus Christ or Prophet Muhammad, actually, we know the position of Lord Jesus Christ and Prophet Muhammad way more than they themselves know.
Yeah.
Because from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, we can actually, if I'm not wrong, it was quoted by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. No, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that Prophet Muhammad is in the Satya Ras and Jesus Christ is in the Vatsalya Ras. So how do they even know any of this? And we accept them as good as God, pure devotees of God. But they disobey the commandments. So in fact, we know the position of their prophets more than they themselves know. So
Same thing with
also,
ghosts about Jesus, sorry. Same thing about Lord Shiva worshippers also.
mm,
We know about Lord Shiva more than the so-called Shaivites. Vaishnavas knows about, that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Sorry, what is that? Yajnatva nekabhuyonyat jnatavyam avasishyate. Uh, After knowing Krishna, after knowing this philosophy, there is nothing further to be known. 7.2. Bhagavatam 7.2. Sorry, Bhagavad Gita 7.2. You can see Bhagavad Gita 7.2. Is it correct? Jnanam, show the translation, Sanskrit. Jnanam teham sa vijnanam idam bhakshyami aseshatah. Jnatva nekabhuyonyat jnatavyam avasishyate. Read this one. Translation.
I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know.
Nothing further to be known. Prabhupada also quotes this, always say this. Yashmin Vignarto Sarvam Vignartam Yevam Bhavati. The one who understands Krishna is a knower of everything. In other words, if you don't know who is God, then you know what you know. That's just that. The Mohammedans, and they just have a fear for God. And out of fear, they are moving. Right? So, if you have fear, means there is actually, there is even before all the rasas, So that's why the Acharyas knows Nabi and Christ more than anybody else.
So
Okay.
Prabhu, just one question, Prabhu. Like, of course, the principles of Karma Kanda is there for a reason, because not everybody can actually take up to the principles of consciousness. Not everybody can actually come to the platform of understanding. Even among the Brahmanas, only the one who's like Brahma Janati is like perfect, right?
Yeah.
So in the present day Kali Yuga, since no Karma Kanda ritual can be performed, even those who have a tendency for material sense gratification have no other option but to take to Krishna consciousness, right?
Yes, Srimad Bhagavatam 2, 3, 10. Read this.
Yes, so a person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of all material desire, without any material desire or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of God.
See, that's why this Nasteva Gatir Anyata means no karma, no jnana. With all these things you understand. That's why 3 times mentioned. Nasteva Gatir Anyata. That's why it's
So
karma kanda, jnana kanda, all these actually will not work in this Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga only way is to chant the holy name of the Lord.
and also, Prabhu, the third Nasteva refers to Upasana Kanda, is it?
Prabhu is
But it
quoting
refers to the
something.
other. Yes,
Prabhu is quoting something. We read this.
yes, sir.
Show that
Adi
one.
7,
17.169.
17.169. Yes, sir.
Mm.
Between Satan, Mato, and Santaga. Yes, sir. That's how I was design. Yes. Yes, sir. I think you can go to the chapter, I mean, the verse by verse, yeah. My dear Nimai Pandit, what you have said is all true. Our scriptures have developed only recently, and they're certainly not logical and philosophical. I know that our
That's a
scriptures.
The
Yes, sir.
purport by Prabhupada explains some of the things that Prabhu just said.
go to the purport. You can read this purport.
Yes, sir.
How big is it? How big is the purport? Okay, good. Read this purport.
Yes, sir. The Shastra of the Yavanas or meat eaters are not eternal scriptures. They have been fashioned recently and sometimes they contradict one another. The scriptures of the Yavanas are three: the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran. The compilation has a history. They are not eternal like the Vedic knowledge. Therefore, although they have their arguments and reasonings, they are not very sound and transcendental. As such, modern people advanced in science and philosophy deem these scriptures unacceptable. Sometimes Christian priests come to us inquiring, why are our followers neglecting our scriptures and accepting yours? But when we ask them, your Bible says, do not kill. Why then are you killing so many animals daily? They cannot answer. Some of them imperfectly answer that the animals have no souls, but then we ask them, how do you know that animals have no souls? Animals and children are of the same nature. Does this mean that children of human society also have no soul? According to the Vedic scriptures, within the body is the owner of the body, the soul. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.13, it is said, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Because the soul is within the body changes through so many forms. There is a soul within the body of every living creature, whether animal, tree, bird, or human being, and the soul is migrating from one type of body to another. And the scripture of the Yavanas, namely the Old Testament, New Testament, and the Quran, cannot properly answer inquisitive followers. Naturally, those advanced in scientific knowledge and philosophy lose faith in such scriptures. The Qazi admitted this while talking with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Qazi was a very intelligent person. He had full knowledge of his position, as stated in the following words.
In next sloka also you can read the translation.
Yes, sir. I know that our scriptures are full of imagination and mistaken ideas. Yet, because I'm a Muslim, I accept them for the sake of my community, despite their insufficient support.
So this is. So you want to say something, Prabhu? Kesi Prabhu?
No, Prabhu, you can go on.
So you hear even Shankasi is a Islam Muslim guy. He himself accept. So as Prabhupada says, this is scriptures of Yavanas. Even Bhavishya Purana also. Of course, you don't need to completely accept it. I don't know. That's up to you. But it is mentioned that when I was reading, so it shows that the Kali Purusha wanted to progress, and it was not happening. The people were still following dharma and everything. Then Narayana told Kali Purusha, don't worry, like very soon, that Mlecha Vamsa will be started by Adama and Hivyavati. That's called Adam and Eve. Adama and Hivyavati. They will come and start the Mlecha Vamsa, and through them, this Kali Yuga will be propagated. So that's why we call them as Adam, Eve, and so Muslim, Christian, Jews, all of them will come under the category.
Actually, there was a conversation where Srila Prabhupada stated that if there's a sincere follower of Jesus Christ, he'll go to the higher planetary system. And from there, he will meet Jesus Christ and get the pure transcendental knowledge because Jesus Christ is pure devotee. And from there, he goes to Krishna Loka. So even if they're perfect followers, they cannot go back home back to God. They go to the higher planetary system, and then just like Shiva followers go to Shiva and then go up, right?
Yeah. And another question is about from Jordan Prabhu. He's saying that there are living beings on other planets like Moon, Mars, etc. And why we cannot see them through the microscopes. You see, our Dr. Frog philosophy is that we want to see everything in the same form, that is made of this mud, this earth. Our body is made of earth and carbon, carbon-based structure, and then there's blood inside, and we want to see everything this form only. But there are also bodies made of fire, also made of water, made of air, made of ether, right? So the creation is much more beyond than your imagination. If suppose there is a living entity living in the sun, and his body will be fiery body, not watery body. It will be fiery body. And what to speak about other living planet? In the same room that Jordan you are sitting, do you see everything? Do you hear everything? Are you hearing everything, all the sound that is around you? You are hearing some, decibels. Is it what, 20 to what? Some decibel range is there? Some decibel range,
20 to 20,000.
20 to 20,000? Yeah. Only that much you can hear. You cannot hear below that. You cannot hear more than that. So in your same room, you don't know what is happening, right? You don't know what is happening in your own house, within your own room. And then, it is very funny. And then we are trying to understand, the scientists, the scientists trying to understand what is in the moon, what is in the Mars. And another crude example I gave was one devotee was asking me once, the people went to moon and then they could not see anything. Why is it so? And then actually, of course, Prabhupada says they will not go to moon. But in another place, Prabhupada also says that one day the scientists will be able to do this. One day the scientists will be able to do that also. Even if they do this, they won't be able to understand the transcendental qualities of Krishna. There is one place it is mentioned like that. So what I said was, there was one devotee who went to Singapore and then his visa got rejected. Not visa got rejected, and then they did not let him inside. Visa was there. He went inside the immigration, and then there they did not accept him, and he came back to India. And if you ask him how the Singapore looks like, and he will say that it's only some chairs and tables, and then some officer was there. That is Singapore. You don't know what is inside the Singapore because he was declined from the gate of Singapore itself. He did not even go inside. Similarly, Krishna, unless he want to show you the moon, you cannot see the moon. Even if you take some space craft and all those things, if you go, still you won't be able to see that particular planet. And if you want, you can know everything only if Krishna wants you to know. Otherwise, you won't be able to know anything. So that's why we have to come out of the concept of seeing everything through the microscope and and all those things, because there are so many things that are still inconceivable for them. Now only the modern scientists are coming to the topics of there can be parallel universes, and which is predicted in Bhagavatam 5,000 years back. 5,000 years back, Bhagavatam predicts there are multiple universes. And now only they are saying what? There may be parallel universes. So we should not go into the eyes of the scientists to see things. We should go to the shastric perspective of seeing things. You understand this? Looks like, if people can land in the moon in 1960s, why they cannot land today? Does it make any sense? 1960s, there is not even a computer. There was no computers. There is no phones, no technology, no mobile phones. 1960s, they went to the moon. But why they did not go 1970s and 80s, 90s, 2000, 2020, 25? Why they are not going to the moon? Huh? Why? And it's just not about spirituality. Just go and check YouTube. Moon landing hoax. You can find so many videos from other people also. So our idea is not to see whether it is true or lie and all those things, because just like Krishna is inconceivable, his creation also inconceivable. It's very inconceivable. But what is the point of knowing all these things? Our whole idea is to understand yourself. Right? Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse number 32. Krishna says that Vidyanam Adhyatma Vidya. Right? The 10:32 Bhagavad Gita, I can show. There Krishna is saying that out of all the knowledge, I am the science of soul, the spirit. And you have to understand that what is soul, and then what is spirit, and what is the consciousness. Like how does the spirit function? How does the body function? How does the mind function? How does intelligence functions? How does my false ego functions? And what is the nature of God? What is the nature of myself? What is the connection between both of us? That is a real science. What is the use of knowing all this sun, moon, and what is the use of all this technology? What is the use? What do you simply waste of time? We don't have much time in this Kali Yuga, especially. We don't have much time. We have very, very short lives. That do people born in other countries, you have very little time. Very little time we got, because it is something you have to do a lot of learning. People of India, we don't need a lot of learning because we know who is Krishna, who is Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. But for you, it takes long time to come to the platform of understanding basic philosophies. So we should not waste our time, in all these kind of, like deviations. Just focus to Krishna, devotional service given by Prabhupada. Just see how the devotees are making progress by following Prabhupada. Just take that as an example and apply in your life. That's it. That's intelligent. Okay, there's somebody sharing something. You want to read this? Somebody can read this. Okay, anyway. Oh, you're asking question, is it?
Yes, you're asking
That's the
question.
question. Okay, Jordan, you're clear? Chant Hare Krishna, all your doubts will be clear. Chant more and more. The more you chant, more you serve, you'll become. Okay, what's his name? Nirjar Neel Maiti. Is it boy, right? No, Mataji, right?
Boy. Yeah, his name is Neil. He's
First
19
time?
years old, and
His first
yes,
time is coming?
first time in the Istagoshti, but he's quite regular in the reading sessions. So
Very good.
maybe he can introduce himself.
Sometimes a Mataji will come here, right?
Yes, yeah.
Sometimes a
One
Mataji
Mataji
will.
joined. Yes, so
Few
in
time
reading session
happens.
also.
Okay, thank you, Jordan. Happy to hear that. You got clear now. Okay, Prabhupada says that on Doom Conversation in Paris on June 11, 1974, you may associate with non-devotee, but don't give him your heart. You can give your hand, shake hands, that's all, not heart. That's only for Krishna. But he explained this conversation with what Prabhupada means. So Prabhupada means that don't take the association serious. Handshake means just hi bye. That's it. Not more than that. Suppose you're working in a company, working in office or school, you need to associate with non-devotees. You cannot say I will not talk to non-devotees. You give your hand to them, shake your hands with them, and then say hi bye. That's it. But don't give your heart means don't take whatever he says to your heart, to your intelligence. Whatever he says, don't take it to intelligence. And that you give only for Krishna. It means give your intelligence only for Krishna and the Krishna devotees. This is what Prabhupada means. As simple as it is. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir, it is clear.
Where are you from? Can you introduce yourself, please?
From means I am from I'm from West Bengal, but I
Okay.
live in Visakhapatnam.
Oh, I think you told me before, right? Is it
Yeah,
not?
yeah, yeah. I told you. I think I joined once a long time ago.
I have very bad memory initial stage. After 2, 3 times only I can get to know a person. First 2, 3 times I'll ask the same questions. Okay, looks like this week a little bit more people have joined now. New people. Some new people are joining.
It's a very rare sight, Prabhu, in the Istagoshti.
Good. Who is Jai? Who is Jay?
He's
Actually, he's a devotee from Berlin. He can introduce himself. He has unmuted.
Please introduce yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. That my humble obeisances all goes Prabhupada. Prabhu, I also joined in, I think, 2 or 3 sessions before, but probably you don't remember me from the most.
Okay.
Ones. I'm based in Berlin, Prabhu.
Sorry?
I'm based in Berlin. Prabhu, I'm based in Berlin.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhu.
Oh, yeah. I think you
And
messaged me, right? You're supposed to come to a temple, is it not?
yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. And I
Oh.
couldn't. My trip got cut short, and now I'm
Hey.
back here. Still, I
Yeah.
have dreams about visiting, but hopefully next year, Prabhu.
Yeah, you please come. We were waiting for your arrival. I
Yes,
thought you'd come
Prabhu.
and associate with us.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, you come whenever you get time, you come here. How is your spiritual life?
Going well now, Prabhu. I was actually quite busy with some family matters while I was in India. So it was difficult for me to focus, and then also applying for some jobs because even my job situation got interrupted. But now I have 2 months free. I've been here in Berlin now. I have 2 months with no work, so I've pretty much only been focusing on spiritual life. I've been reading a lot. I actually got entire 30 volume set Bhagavatam from India while I was traveling. Lot of books. So I've pretty much been reading all day. Chanting, I still need to be. I've been consistent, thankfully, lately. But I still need to increase my rounds. So I've been chanting 8 every day. But now quite consistently. So slowly I'm bringing it up. And otherwise, everything else I've been quite focused on regulative principles, prashadam, everything I've been preparing myself.
Very good. Keep it up. Keep up your association. Come for every week. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thanks for being in touch. And there is one scientist in this meeting, huh?
Yes, bro.
When
Very
he become
transcendental person.
when he become a scientist.
He always does science.
Prabhu, he always does this, Prabhu. He always changes his name according to Pranjal Prabhu's, I don't know, emojis.
Okay. Lebohang the scientist.
He always says he does science of chanting.
Oh, yeah, of course. Once actually I got one
He's the
devotee.
most consistent in Japan.
One of a devotee who gave his father's car to us for using some time. And his father was a doctor. And then the doctor symbol was there in the car and I was driving it. So wherever I go, "Hey, you are a doctor?" I say, "Yeah, I'm a doctor. I'm the doctor for soul." I, I'm a soul specialist. Okay, how do you get rid of the close friends that you talk every day because they always ask questions on religion to me? How do we answer questions when they always speculate with science? You see, the thing is actually, you must read a lot of books, Not a lot of books means Prabhupada books, not outside books. You must read Prabhupada books repeatedly. When someone is coming to talk to you means, that's actually a good opportunity to preach. And if you don't have a proper philosophy, then you will be preached. And you'll be preached, if you don't have, that's why you should read books. And then if you don't understand, you just, come and ask question to your God brothers. They will tell you the answers. Then you go and tell them. That's why when we send people for book distribution, initially they'll be defeated by the people. And then they'll come and ask us, Prabhu, I told like that. Is it right or wrong? And then, like, we'll just tell him the right answers. Then he learned like that. Then gradually. So I also learned. I was going book distribution, and after coming, I'll talk to Prabhu, Sundar Gopal Prabhu. Prabhu will tell me what correct answer. Then I learn from that. Like that we learn. After some time, you read Prabhupada books. Prabhupada will teach you also. Correct. Good. So you are living close to. He's living in Canada, is it, Jordan Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. He's in Canada. Actually, he's nearby Nimai Prabhu's place. And he has visited Nimai Prabhu many times also.
He went to
After
Harinam.
Prabhu has come there. Yes, he
Looks
was
like his
there.
doubts are increased after going for the class.
Yes, Prabhu, I was
No,
surprised.
Prabhu, I think the way he asks a question, the way he asks a question is a little bit different, I think. Because maybe grammar or whatever.
I think maybe his family is causing problems because he's 15.
Good, no problem. Don't worry, Jordan. It's very good that you're getting a Kindle and then you download Prabhupada books. You always hear. And another thing is now a lot of audio books are available. Just plug into your ears, the earphones, and then hear Prabhupada the whole day. Prabhupada book. That's the best. Yeah, I understand. But you read Prabhupada book, then you will not be confused. Read Prabhupada books. You are following the most what is that authorized method of devotion, spiritual method in this age, and there is nobody superior to you. And it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that Sango Bangasha Pashadam yesterday Yajne Sankirtane Ibrahim Tujanti hi Sumedashaha. Highly intelligent people will take up this process. Right? So you are very intelligent to take up this process. Don't get confused. Read Prabhupada books. That's the only solution. Okay. And
Actually,
yeah.
just to
Yes,
add to
sir.
what Prabhu said,
Yes.
you're not only very intelligent, but you're also very fortunate right? To actually come to this platform of bhakti. It's very difficult to come to this platform. It takes many lifetimes for one to actually come to this point. People are chiefly attracted by either jnana, karma, right? But to come to bhakti is extremely hard. That's why when Krishna is discussing with Uddhava in the 11th canto, Krishna is telling Uddhava that, there are three different ways by which, if you go to 11:26 and 11:27, so there Krishna is telling Uddhava, 11:20, 11:206. I see. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Uddhava, because I desire that human beings may achieve perfection, I have presented three paths of advancement: the path of knowledge, the path of work, and the path of devotion. Besides these three, there is absolutely no other means of elevation, right? So, whichever progress or whatever progress you want to make in spiritual life, you have to choose one of these three paths. Either the path of knowledge, which is jnana, the path of work, which is karma, or the path of devotion, which is bhakti. Besides these three, Krishna is telling Uddhava, there is no other means of elevation, right? Now, if you go to the next verse. So here, he explains, right, what are these three paths? He says, amongst these three paths, Jnana Yoga, the path of philosophical speculation, is recommended for those who are disgusted with material life and are thus detached from ordinary fruitive activities. So, people who generally, they want to give up material life, they take the path of jnana. Because jnana itself means, the way people generally understand jnana means vairagya, right? Because in jnana, the principal understanding of jnana is you're not this body, right? The principal understanding of the philosophy of jnana or sankhya is I'm not this body. So because you are in that conception that you are not this body, you try and reject everything which is in relation to this body, right? So that's why the jnanis who are in the path of philosophical speculation, they generally reject everything. Then he says, those who are not disgusted with material life, having desires to fulfill, what happens? They seek the perfection through the path of karma yoga, right? And parts of this Krishna explains in the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. If you go to the next verse. So he's explained, right? Jnana yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga. He said, who pursues jnana, who pursues karma. Now he says, if somehow or other, by good fortune, one develops faith in hearing and chanting my glories, such a person, being neither disgusted with nor very much attached to material life, should achieve perfection through the path of loving devotional service to me. So, if somehow or other by good fortune. So the fact that you're actually come in the midst of this devotee circle itself means that there is fortune, right? And this process is so nice that you neither need to be disgusted with material life, nor you have to be very attached with material life. You can follow the process of Yukta Vairagya, right? And thus achieve perfection through following this process of bhakti, right? So that's why the purport, you see, if somehow or other one gets the association of pure devotees of Krishna and hears from them the transcendental knowledge, message of Lord Krishna, that one has a chance to become a devotee of the Lord. Right? So, as mentioned in the previous verse, those who become disgusted with material life take to impersonal philosophical speculation and rigorously try to stamp out any trace of personal existence. Those who are still attached to material sense gratification try to purify themselves by offering the fruits of their ordinary activities to Supreme. A first-class candidate for pure devotional service, on the other hand, is neither completely disgusted with nor attached to material life. He does not desire to pursue ordinary material activities any further because it cannot afford real happiness. Nevertheless, a candidate for devotional service does not give up all hope for perfecting personal existence. A person who avoids the two extremes of material attachment and impersonal reaction to material attachment, and who somehow or other gets the association of pure devotees, faithfully hearing the message, is a good candidate for going back to God. So this is how you should understand, how there are three different processes of elevating oneself to the highest platform. And amongst these three different processes, why bhakti is supreme. I hope that further adds to what Prabhu said. Thank you.
Prabhu, you're muted, Prabhu. Prahlad Prabhu.
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, there was a very interesting topic they chose last week for discussion. What is the most dangerous offense? What is the topic? Karthik, what is it?
Yeah. What is the most dangerous offense in the 10 offenses?
Maybe Prabhu, you can give your view on this.
What is the most dangerous offense?
Out of the 10 offenses, what is the most dangerous one? Because last week they had a good discussion on this topic.
Okay, I'll probably tell you maybe in terms of, so out of all the 10 offenses.
Another thing, Prabhu, I think I'll be taking leave after some time. If you have time, you please continue, bro.
No problem. Okay, absolutely fine. See, amongst the 10 offenses, right? We all know the 10 offenses. The one offense that we always commit and which is very difficult for us to overcome is the 10th offense. Right? See, every other offense, somehow or other, like for example, the first offense is blasphemy the devotees. I don't think that's something that we generally will do. Right? Blaspheming the devotees means you're criticizing the devotees left, right, center, bashing them up. That's not something that we generally do. Consider names of demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. No, that's also not something that we normally do. Disobey the orders of the spiritual master, some extent initially might do, but as we gain strength in spiritual life, we'll address. Now, this 10th offense, can anybody say what's the 10th offense?
Not have complete faith in chanting and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter.
So it is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting.
Yes, Prabhu.
So that offense, the inattention, right? And we were discussing about this in the WhatsApp group, I think last week. We were talking about inattention and all that. This inattention to chanting Krishna's names, right? Not only Krishna's names, but to every aspect of devotional service is the biggest offense. Because what happens is that's an offense which is very difficult for us to follow, in the sense that it is very difficult for us to not commit that offense. Right? Every other offense we can prevent ourselves from committing, right? Whereas this last offense, this 10th offense, right? Even if we want to follow it, it is very hard, right? So, because if you read that offense, right, there are two parts to that offense. One is being inattentive by chanting. The other is being materially attached, right? Now, both of these aspects are extremely difficult to follow. And so, I think that's why this particular offense, the more we are able to avoid, right, we can actually advance more and more spiritually. That inattention we were discussing the other day with Subala Prabhu also applies to every aspect of devotional service, not just chanting. Right? Even when we do our regular devotional activities, if there is inattention, like even if you're singing a song for the pleasure of Prabhupada or Krishna, if there is inattention in how we sing or how we pronounce the words or how we hear what we sing, then that can also lead us to a point where it can create chaos in the spiritual life. So if you can go to 5:18:2 of the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada talks about this. And the seriousness of this offense, we will understand if you read the purport of this verse. If you come down, Prabhu, if you come to the purport, and if you can, where's that? Yeah, if you can come down, I think it's 5, you're in 5:18:2, Prabhu, or is it 5:19? Sorry. It's 5:18:2. Sec. So there is this verse. Just let me just pick up that verse. Now there, Prabhupada talks about. 5:18:4. You go to 5:18:4. You are in 5:18:4, Prabhu. 5:18:4. Nice. If you come down, now see, this is a very important verse. Now you see here, you can start reading, Prabhu. You go up a little bit. As soon as someone thinks I am this material body, from there if you can read. Yeah.
As
Yes,
Prabhu, you can read.
Yes, Prabhu, you can continue. No, Prabhu, you can continue. Prabhu.
As soon as someone thinks I am this material body, aham mameti, and everything in relationship with this material body is mine, is an illusion, moha. This illusion caused by the material energy acts especially on the conditioned souls, but it sometimes also acts on liberated souls as well. A liberated soul.
So, sorry, Prabhu. One underline there. It acts on liberated souls as well. See, the illusion caused by the material energy, right? We know it acts on conditioned souls, but it sometimes also acts on liberated souls. Now, how it acts on liberated souls? Let's see that.
A liberated soul is a person who has sufficient knowledge of this material world and is therefore unattached to the bodily conception of life. But because of association with the modes of material nature for a very long time, even liberated souls sometimes become captivated by the illusory energy due to inattentiveness in the transcendental position.
Correct. So the word is very important. Due to inattentiveness in the transcendental position. So you see, even liberated souls, right, sometimes become captivated by the illusory energy due to inattentiveness in this transcendental position. So this inattention, which is referred to in the 10th offense, right, can even captivate liberated souls. You see? Then go on, Prabhu. You can read.
Therefore, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7:14, Mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Only those who surrender unto me can overcome the influence of the material energy. Therefore, no one should think of himself as a liberated person immune to the influence of Maya. Everyone should very cautiously execute devotional service by rigidly following regulative principles. Thus he will remain fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. Otherwise, a little inattention will create havoc.
See, very important point. Otherwise, a little inattention will create havoc. So two times the word inattention is coming, right? So a little inattention will create havoc, right? And then Prabhupada is giving the example of Bharata Maharaj. You can read, Prabhupada.
We have already seen an example of this in the case of Maharaj Bharat. Maharaj Bharat was undoubtedly a great devotee, but because he turned his attention slightly toward a small deer, he had to suffer two more birds, one as a deer and one as the Brahmana Jada Bharat. Afterwards, he was liberated and went back to home, back to Godhead.
Perfect, Prabhupada. So this is a point that I wanted to make, right? Is inattention in devotional service can create havoc. And this can create havoc what? Even for an advanced devotee. We forget about a neophyte devotee. Even if somebody is very advanced, somebody like Bharata Maharaj, right? Perfect. He did everything right. But he was inattentive. He got attracted to a deer. Sometimes that's why even when we practice sadhana bhakti, right? There is always this inattention that comes to us. Right? Whatever we do, when we do attend Guru Puja, we attend Mangalarati, we eat prasadam, right? There's so many activities that perform in devotional service. Every activity when we perform in devotional service, if we don't give attention to the activity that we are performing, then it is quite possible for all of us to actually fall down from our position. Because inattention means what? We are thinking of something other than the activity we are performing, right? See, that's why what this process of sadhana bhakti, actually sadhana bhakti means this, right? A lot of times people ask this question, what is sadhana bhakti? Sadhana bhakti means moving your consciousness from a state of inattentiveness to a state of attentiveness, right? If we can make progress in our attention to our activities in Krishna consciousness, that means we are actually progressing in our sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti just doesn't mean doing the same activities day in, day out, right? That's how we understand sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means get up for Mangalarti, attend Darshanarti, attend Bhagavatam class. Suppose somebody is giving Bhagavatam class, right? If you are sleeping, then there is no point in attending Bhagavatam class, right? So we have to be attentive. Unless we are attentive, this entire process of sadhana, right? That's why sometimes many times we see, right? Externally, we see a lot of devotees doing a lot of things right. But still, apparently, we see that they either fall down or for some reason they move away from association. Why this happens? This happens because inattention starts creeping. So that's why amongst the 10 offenses, that last offense, right? The reason I'll probably say that's the greatest offense is because, or the most easiest offense for us to commit is because it can take you away from the path of Krishna consciousness. See, every other offense that is listed up to the 9th offense, it can somehow or other, you can learn and correct yourself. But this last offense, if you're not attentive, right, it can create havoc in your devotional sense. So that's very important for us to understand. That's my view. First, if Prabhu had shared something else, or if you have something more to share, happy to understand. But yeah, just a perspective.
No, that's the same thing. Because last week, what happened when this discussion was going on, I was a little busy with other things, so I could not explain much. And I was thinking about the same perspective of whatever you told in this past 1 week. And I wanted to speak about this. So since you were there, I thought you can explain this better. Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
thank
thing.
you, bro.
Because in our temple also we can see sometimes when the devotee joined, they say, Prabhu, there are many devotees before what happened to them. Why they left. Why they left. Because that is because, as Prabhu exactly mentioned, is inattentive devotional service. There'll be brahmacharis, and then some of them even will give up their college and then give up education, give up the job, everything. They come and join the temple. After joining the temple, then they will tend to move towards sense gratification. Other than pleasing Krishna, then they start about sense gratifying the eyes, nose, and then false ego. And I'm a senior devotee. I'm this. I'm that. I'm the temple president. So when they are getting deviated with all this kind of sense gratification, then that becomes inattentive devotional service. Because whenever we say inattentive to chanting, it is because Prabhupada say cooking is chanting, and singing is chanting, kirtan is chanting. Everything is chanting. In that sense, inattentive chanting doesn't mean only you're chanting Hare Krishna mantra, but also of all your devotional services. So, of course, the greatest offense may be disobey the devotees, but the dangerous offense is inattentive chanting.
Correct. That's the right way you put it, Prabhu. The dangerous offense is inattentive. The greatest offense may probably be Vaishnava. Very nicely said. You're right.
Yeah. We normally don't notice the small enemies, we focus always the big enemies. And then the small guy comes and we don't, this is like a slow poison. Like the slow poison will give some cancer and all diseases because we always look for some big enemies. But the small guy, the inattentive chanting, we don't even know when he came, how he came. We don't even know. A good example is devotee sleeping in Bhagavatam class. And then we give them some service, they break it, and then they destroy it, or they spoil the service. So this all happens. But this is what actually I wanted the devotees to know this point. And Prabhu has explained very well with this fifth canto. But is that fine?
It's 5:18:4. I think Prabhu is in mute. Can you hear Prabhu?
Yeah, it's 5:18:4 with Prabhu explained very well with the 5:18:4 purport. Thank you, Prabhu. So if any devotees, any other question, you please ask Prabhu, and I need to go. I won't be able to continue. Thank you so much. You came, Prabhu. Thanks. Please.
Thank you for your association.
Thank you so much, Prahlad Prabhu, for your kind association.
Thank you for your association,
Hare
Prahlad
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Ram, Ramachandra, Vishnu, Vipasana, Deveshwara,
Vaishnava Namo Namo. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna,
much.
Prabhu. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam, Jai Sri
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
All those Prabhupada. Very well. So, Prabhu, Prabhu, if you
Yes,
don't mind,
Prabhu.
can I ask a question on this regard?
Yes, Prabhu, please. I'll
So,
tell you what I know
Prabhu,
or what I've heard. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, Prabhu, go on.
Prabhu, like for example, of course, Prahlad Prabhu was speaking about devotees in the temple who are doing inattentive devotional service, inattentive in the matter of even associating with devotees. But especially for example, somebody who's aspiring to become a devotee but who's staying a little bit away from the temple, like in perhaps college or school, or for some reason, whatever, he's a little bit far away from the devotees according to circumstances, then the natural tendency to be inattentive is much more increased, right? Because of non-devotee association. So especially like at least for me, I find that I'm also very inattentive, and I would like to make some quick progress also. So how can I actually try to, at least can I try, like how I can try, because I know I cannot avoid this, it's not possible, at least in the condition stage, definitely not possible, but how I can make some tangible advancement towards, especially trying to make my chanting more proper.
Yeah. So Prabhupada gives the secret to this chanting, right? Prabhupada says, as you chant, you hear. Right. This is Prabhupada's, when Prabhupada talks about chanting, Prabhupada says, as you chant, you hear. The process is that you chant Hare Krishna and exactly the same sound you hear. Right. So these are some valuable instructions that Prabhupada has given in terms of how we should chant Krishna's names. So every time when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, right, if we attempt to hear, now this will not happen. Don't ask me if I become a specialist in this, not. This is what I said is sadhana bhakti, right? You will see some tangible improvement happening if you inculcate this as a habit, right? Now, what has happened is our habit, it has become a habit for us that when we chant, we don't hear, right? And the mind is very clever. Anything that you inculcate as a habit, it will not let you go from that habit. Could mean even simple things like getting up in the morning, right? Any activity that you do, if you don't inculcate it as a habit, or if you inculcate it as a wrong habit, it will continue that way, right? That's how the mind generally works. It's trained that way. So this whole process of sadhana bhakti is actually to train the mind, right? Now, the best way to train the mind is to follow what instructions the spiritual master has given, right? So when we chant, supposing you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now the 16 syllables, right? Just attempt to hear this. You don't need to think about anything else, right? You just, all that you have to know, all that you have to convince yourself, right? And which is something that is supported by Shastra also. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, right? Kali Kale, Nama Rupe, Krishna Avatar. That means Krishna is descended in the form of his transcendental sound. Correct? If Krishna is descended in the form of his transcendental sound, let's assume that there is a visitor coming to your door. Right? What will you do? You'll open the door, welcome the visitor, ask him to come in, and treat him properly. Correct? That is exactly what is happening when we are chanting Krishna's names. When we are chanting Krishna's names, Krishna is descending. Right? Krishna is actually coming in the form of his transcendental sound. Now, if we don't hear that sound, we are not welcoming Krishna into our life. It's like somebody is ringing the door, ringing the bell, right? But we are not opening the door. So the door to our inner consciousness is our ears. Right? How will the Nama go into the ears? The Nama will go, Nama will go into the heart. It will go to the heart only through the ears. Correct? So that's why hearing means associating with Krishna. When we hear Krishna's names, right? That means we are associating with Krishna. If Krishna is the supreme personality of God, right? Like for example, take another example. If you have the deity of Krishna in front of you, right? You understand that the deity is non-different from Krishna, correct? How do you reciprocate to the deity? By worshipping the deity, correct? You show the deity some arati, you offer some flowers. This way you reciprocate with the deity. Now, the Lord appears in a deity form, which is a Archa Vigraha form. The Lord also can appear as transcendental sound. And this transcendental sound, how can you worship? This transcendental sound you can worship by hearing Krishna's names. So that worship that you are doing to the deity, the equivalent of that in chanting is hearing. Because when you're hearing, you're giving attention to Krishna. See, why Prabhupada is using this word attention? Very important, right? Attention means what? When a guest is coming home, if you are inattentive to the guest, what happens? The guest will go away, right?
Yes.
So Krishna is appearing on your tongue, right? The way you can be attentive to that Krishna who's appearing on your tongue is by hearing. So that is how you practice. And so this can be practiced anywhere, even if you're at home, whenever you get to chant, right? Tell your mind very clearly, I'm going to block this 1.5 hours and spend time associating with Krishna. Keep your mobile phone out of reach. Keep everything out of reach. Chant, hear, and thereby associate with Krishna. Every time, every mantra you chant, you should hear. Right? It's not like, you will hear one chant, one mantra in your 108 times now. Every mantra you chant, you'll hear. Because every mantra that you're chanting, Krishna is descending, you are associating. And if we continue doing this process, this will become a habit. And then we will start relishing this association. Right? That's why Tunde Tandi, that verse that Rupa Goswami mentions, right? Where he says, I can taste Krishna's names, I need millions of tongues to actually relish Krishna's names. I need millions of years to actually relish Krishna's names, right? That Rupa Goswami is saying, what is that verse? I'll tell you. Tunde Dandi. If you see this verse, 199 Antya, If you go to 199 Antya, this is Rupa Goswami's statement, right? Now, how this stage is possible? The stage is possible if we develop attraction for chanting. See, Tunde Tande Viniratim Vitunate, Tundavali Labdhaye, Karna Kroda Kadambini Gatagate, Karna Budepyaspram. If you come down, so here it says, I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the holes of the ears, very important. When the name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of years. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become better. So, very beautifully, Rupa Goswami is explaining. He's saying you chant. After you chant, you hear. When you hear, what happens? The holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart. So, how will the holy name reach the heart? Through the ears.
Yes, Prabhu.
So that's why it is very, very important that when we chant, we have to hear. Only then the holy name will start, manifesting in our heart. Of course, to come to the stage, it takes time. But the more we practice this sadhana of chanting and constantly hearing what we chant, then we can actually come to the platform of pure chanting. Right? See, Rupa Goswami is giving the formula. When you chant through your tongue, Krishna is actually dancing in your tongue. Now that Krishna, you have to take it into your heart, right? How will you take him into your heart? Through your ears. So that's why he's desiring millions of tongues. He's also desiring millions of ears, millions of mouths and millions of ears. Why? These are the two functions involved in chanting. Chanting means two things. Actually, chanting means chanting and hearing. It is just not chanting. See, many times we say chant Hare Krishna. Actually, when we say chant Hare Krishna itself, what it means is chant and hear Hare Krishna. Otherwise, our chanting will become very mechanical. So this attempt we should make. Krishna, then the more we attempt this, then Krishna will give us, that intelligence by which we can actually start hearing his names consistently. And you will actually get some little rasa. I mean, that rasa is not this rasa. But when you start focusing on the hearing, right, you will not know how your rounds are completed. See, that test, I'll tell you one test you can apply to know whether your chanting quality is good. You should not know how your 16 rounds are finished. If there is effort involved in chanting 16 rounds, that means you're not hearing properly. Right? So that's one way you can test yourself, right? Whether I'm chanting properly. You should not feel that you've chanted 16 rounds. Of course, with inattention also you can feel that, right? But that should not be the goal. If you actually, Prabhupada in one of the conversations, he says, if actually one is chanting and hearing Krishna's names well, he can finish one round in 5 minutes. So once this question was asked to Prabhupada, how did Haridas Thakur chant 3 lakh names? Right? So Haridas Thakur, we all know he chanted 3 lakh names of Krishna every day, right? Which is, I think, how many rounds is that? Is that 192 rounds?
Yes, Prabhu, 192.
Yes, Prabhu.
192 rounds, right? So one devotee is asking Prabhupada, how is it possible that, a person can chant 3 lakh names, 192 rounds? And Prabhupada then showed the disciple, how you should chant. He said, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. And he said, if one can actually chant one round in 5 minutes, it is actually possible to chant 192 rounds in a day. It's not very difficult. Right? So, no, but don't try to do that very forcefully. But what you will understand when you try to practice this, right? It is easy to hear when you chant a little faster. Sometimes people think if you chant very slowly, you can hear, right? They think Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Now what happens is by the time you come to Hare Hare, your mind has gone to 10 different directions, right? So, if you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, it's easy to hear, right? So your chanting should be clear, right? You shouldn't mumble. So a lot of people do this, right? That's why one devotee was saying a lot of the Hare Krishna devotees will be probably, they'll all take birth in Sarpaloka. Right? One devotee was saying, Because half the time they're hissing. No, all this you should not do, right? Chanting should be clear, audible. You should hear, but it can be fast, right? If you follow this practice, then it is possible uh, to actually get better at chanting. So try this. I think, see, if you follow this formula, that it is possible. Irrespective of where you chant, you will be able to definitely see a lot of improvement in your chanting. I don't think this will happen in one day, in 1 month. It takes time. But what will happen is every time you take the chanting bag, right? When you have the desire to hear Krishna's names, see, think about it this way, right? You are entering into a kind of a exclusive time with Krishna, right? Where you're associating only with Krishna. Chanting is that time. If you don't have any other thing that you should be thinking of, even if you have, you should not be even thinking of devotional service. Sometimes people, devotees, think it is okay to think about things in relationship to Krishna. No thinking. There is place for absolutely nothing that we should think. Even if it connected to Krishna, we should not think. We should only think about, we should only hear. That's all. Chant here, chant here. So this formula, if we try, then we will be able to gain strength. Because the mind will trick you. The mind will tell you, hey, it's okay to think about, things related to Krishna. Think about Krishna coming into the forest of Vrindavan. All this you can start thinking. No, the mind will go in different directions. You will not be able to release chanting. So just focus on chanting, and you'll see how this will actually this approach will actually make a difference, bro. At least personally, I've seen it has made some difference. I'm not saying I've come to that point where I'm chanting perfectly, but giving attention, right, it certainly makes a difference. Wherever, every time, whatever activity you perform in bhakti, right, try and see if you can give attention. That's why I was telling one of the sessions I was telling the devotees, the easiest service that we can do, where we can do it with full attention. What is that service? Can you tell me? There is one service in devotional service where you will never go wrong. You will always have full attention. What is that?
Eating prasadam.
Prashadam.
Eating prasadam. See, when you eat prasadam, also you may think of some other things.
Yes,
You
Prabhu.
may not even see what is in your plate, right? You may even talk about some unrelated stuff. But there's one service, right, which you will never go wrong. You'll always have full attention.
Prabhu, is it like, it's not service, but you mean like Prajalpa?
No, I'm saying it is related to Krishna. It is related to
Service.
Krishna,
Okay.
but you will do it with 100% attention. You are forced to do it with 100% attention. You don't have a choice. What is that service?
For,
Dancing. I don't know. When you dance, you can think of so many other things also.
for me, just cooking came to mind because I will ruin everything if I don't focus.
Okay. But again, cooking also, yeah, with that consciousness that you're cooking for Krishna, yeah, that is okay. Cooking, again, it depends on each person. Maybe Sami Prabhu is good at it. Some others are not good at it. But there is one particular service. If you do,
Yes, bro.
you will
Preaching.
Yes.
preaching.
Because
See, now,
you told this last year. I
correct.
remember.
See, now I'm talking to you, right? I cannot do it without attention. If I do it without attention, I'll be talking something else. Right? See, that is why preaching is a very interesting and sometimes, a lot of times what happens when we preach to people, we feel very good. Have you noticed this? Why do you feel good?
Yeah.
Because you do it with 100% attention. The reason you feel good when you preach to others is because psychologically you're doing it with 100% attention. Imagine if you do every service to Krishna with attention, how much happier you will be. This is the formula, right? Why do we always like preaching? See, everybody likes preaching, right? If I ask and introduce you to somebody, you will start quoting Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all this you'll start quoting, right? Why do you like doing it? Because you know that whatever time you're spending for preaching, you're only thinking about Krishna. Your attention is 100% on the subject that you're discussing, right? Every other service that we take up, right, we are not so interested. We'll do it, but we'll do it a little, with a lot of difficulty. Why? Because it's difficult to bring attention. So the hint there, or the formula there is, when we do with 100% attention, it is very pleasing to us. So same thing with chanting. When we chant with attention, we can feel the same joy as much as we feel when we actually preach, provided we do it with attention. Yeah, clear, bro?
Yes, bro. I'll try, Prabhu. Yeah. I mean, I remember I read, I think there's this one site called Bhakti Vinod Institute, if you've heard, where there's Bhakti Vinod Thakur's book. I was just curious, so I was just scrolling one day and then I read that Bhakti Vinod Thakur also states that the mother of all offenses is actually inattentive chanting. And yeah, it correlates
Correct.
with what you said today. I will
Absolutely.
try, Prabhu.
Actually,
I will try.
our movement's life and soul is chanting. See, when you get old, right, you cannot do a lot of services. Physical service is very difficult, right? Of course, we are not like Prabhupada, right? At the age of 70, 75, he could travel everywhere. He could preach. We don't know whether we are that physically capable. But one thing we can always do, sit in one place and chant. See, today we are chanting 16 rounds. If we train ourselves well in terms of chanting and hearing, then sit and chant 64 rounds a day, 8 hours fully spent, right, in chanting Krishna's names. That we can do. So that's why we should train ourselves to develop taste for chanting. We should not think about chanting as another devotional activity. Actually, it is the most important devotional activity. Every other activity of devotional service is subservient to this process of chanting. Prabhupada explains this. All other processes of devotional. In fact, Prabhupada said, why I've written all these books? All these books I've written only to convince you to chant Hare Krishna. That's all. All these books we are referring, so many slokas we are quoting, this verse, that verse, all this we are quoting, right? Purpose of all this is just one, for us to chant Krishna's names constantly. That's all. Right. So yes, if you understand that principle well, then I think very nice.
So thank you very much, Prabhu, for
Thank you very
explaining and
much.
taking the time.
So much, Prabhu.
I
Thank
will
you.
try, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Very insightful, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Bol, Hare
Krishna.
Bol.
Oh, Krishna. The, the question was
Yo,
Prabhu,
Prabhu, let
that,
me speak
I thought there was one
content
question.
thing, Prabhu. How I
I
can
am sorry,
forget that
Prabhu.
preaching is the most important devotional service, Prabhu. How I can forget.
It actually came to my head, Prabhu. I was like, nah, that's us. Kill them.
Oh, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu, it's time for Prashadam. Thank you for your kind association. Please
Oh,
forgive
Thank you
me
very
for
much,
my
Kranti
success.
Prabhu, for the opportunity today.
Thank you for your very nice presentation, Siddharth Prabhu. It was very nice. For
yes,
Shrikant
Prabhu.
Prabhu, thank
I
you
will
for
watch it
staying the whole
again.
way.
It's really nice.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
it was
much,
very
sir.
nice
Thank you
Yeah,
very much,
presentation.
Prabhu,
And
sir.
Sami
please
Prabhu.
send the link
Prabhu,
to me,
just
Prabhu.
do
Who
me
is
a favor
three
and give me
dots?
the feedback because it was very difficult because I usually keep it interactive. Since it was very quiet, I didn't know how to go about it. So if there's anything that you see that I have to improve on, please let me know.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, sure.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
We have a new devotee here. His name is Three Dots. Don't laugh, Prabhu. He's a new devotee, Prabhu. His name is Amit, Prabhu. He just joined the Telegram.
How is it?
He's
Amit
asking.
Joshi, Prabhu.
Oh, I bet you. No, Dada Amit. Anyway, I mean, Shamgam Prabhu is also here. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanapranam, August Prabhupada. So, all right, Prabhus, and thank you very much for your kind association.
Thank you
And
so much,
we'll meet
Prabhu.
Thank
again
you for the
next
question,
week.
Prabhu. It solved so many of my doubts.
So,
Kartik
and
Prabhu,
if I was of some service, I'm happy. Yes,
Kartik
Prabhu?
Prabhu, please help Jordan Prabhu with his confusing Muslim friend
Yes.
trying to confuse.
Yeah, I told him. No, that's what I told him to speak with me because number one, I'm selfish. I want to get some purification by speaking Krishna consciousness. And second of all, like if he comments too many things here, then other devotees cannot ask questions. You know? So that kind of questions like the spamming type he can keep to me, no problem.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhu. Thank you so
Right,
much.
Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna,
very much.
Sayam Govinda Prabhu. Please accept number
I
obeisances of
honestly don't
God's
want this to
Krishna.
Hare
end
Krishna,
now.
Prabhu. Yeah. So Nityanandan
Krishna
Prabhu, yeah, you
Prabhupada.
try to come, Prabhu, huh? You try to come with me. I mean, we'll go together to temple Krishna willing. Okay, you try 31, 30, 30, 31 or next week also. Right, anyway, thank you. All goes to Prabhupada, all goes to Sami Prabhu for
No, Prabhu.
sharing the verses. Thank you, Jordan Prabhu, also for your good questions. Any doubts you have, you message me anytime. I'll try to answer you to
Prabhu, when you
whatever
have
ability
these
I can.
doubts, don't stay alone with them. Like this, you speak them and
Yeah,
then.
you ask, you speak them out, huh? And you try meeting Nimai Prabhu, he'll help you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada. Hari Bol. Once again, Siddharth Prabhu, excellent presentation. We'll frame it
Thank you,
and
Prabhu.
we'll post it. Sami Prabhu is going to do the editing. Krishna will soon. All right. Take care. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.